Pleasure to have this privilege to play. It is indeed a pleasure to have this privilege to play here for you. We intend to give you a very fine program, so just settle back, relax, and enjoy the moment.
Mic check, mic check. Try not to flip this PC all the way over. Mic check, mic check. I remember I got a dump button. Like a real radio professional. What's up? What up? How you doing, Brienne? Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, what up, Debbie? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Happy Monday. I can't believe it's the 20th. It does not feel like December 20th. I have not watched not one Rudolph, not one Heat Miser, Cold Miser. What up, Jessica? Hey. Ooh, cuz. Shout out, cuz. Thank you. Shout out. What up, Ronnie Rat? Shout out, cuz. Ooh, I appreciate the support. Yeah, it don't even feel like Christmas. I don't know if it's just COVID fatigue. I don't know if it's a combination of a bunch of things. Well, let me turn this television off for I have whatever. But yeah, it's just been this feels interesting. But welcome to Mic'd Up. I'm your host, Mika Gadsden. This is Mic'd Up, the live stream. Oh God, my hair. Mic'd Up the live stream, not Mic'd Up the podcast, but that we got that too. What up, Joni? Good morning. Good morning. So we got a lot of news to cover. Shout out to all my subbies to the newsletter, new and old. Shout out. So if you got the newsletter, I'm gonna switch up real quick because I'm got a lot to cover. So boom. Boom, boom, boom. So if you got the newsletter this morning, you got this thumbnail right here. Biden Bulldogs business. I wanted to put BIDs, but I don't think people understand that yet. So Business Investment District, BBB, Build Back Better, and Boots. As you can see, I love to be very, very, very. I think I'm funny. No. I know I'm funny. So we got Mace here. Can you guess what we're gonna talk about? Take a guess. I'm trying to sound like Blue's Clues or like Dora the Explorer. Can you guess? Say it out loud. So yeah, we're gonna talk about an eventful weekend. Honestly, too, and I didn't even speak to it on Friday. During my dismount, I didn't even talk about the commencement speech. I actually thought that Biden's commencement speech at SC State was going to be a little bit later in the afternoon, and I was going to maybe hop on live and watch it live, but we'll revisit the news from it. Biden's historic visit to SC State and HBCU. They had an amazing upset win. For those who follow college football, you understand how Deion Sanders at Jackson State down in Mississippi has done tremendous things with that program, really injecting a lot of life and energy into the discussion about HBCU supporting. What does that support look like? What does it look like to have a high profile sports legend, Hall of Famer, lend some of that celebrity to an HBCU? But they squared up against our SC State, and they got served the L. So shout out. Let me see. Yeah, I still got applause. Shout out to SC State. Shout out to Chris Kalen, who was talking. Let me tell you something. I got way more respect for Chris Kalen than I already had, talking shit to Jackson State fans in the stands in Atlanta. She's a proud Chris Kalen. You know, she's the weekend diva. She hosts the top rated weekend radio show here in Charleston. She's also a former homecoming queen at SC State, an AKA a trained dancer. I mean, I can go on and on. Why is this girl not represented in media? Why is she not getting all the PR love in this town that some other really vanilla, basic Starbucks featuring influencers get a lot more shine than Chris Kalen? But Chris Kalen was up there talking shit in the stands, and I love it. So that happened this weekend, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Clyburn going to cover a news story that's going to cover why it was so important, not just for Clyburn to invite and have Biden come, but also Clyburn got a little bit of some love and recognition. So we'll play that clip. Nancy Mace is playing Mariner. She's out there sailing off to help save Boots. No disrespect to any monkeys that are being harmed by Fauci. But she could do this. She literally could do this whole animal cruelty shit. She can literally look at like some of her campaign contributions and look at some of her faves are probably connected to some similar practices. But anyway, she's trying to make a political point. Build Back Better is dead. I hate to validate something that Nancy Mace had tweeted, but we knew that Mansion, if not Mansion Cinema, will play spoiler. We're going to touch on that a little bit. That's why you see a crestfallen Biden on on this thumbnail. Let me look at the chat real quick. Good morning. Hey, Alvin. Get up for the Bulldog. Yeah. Right? The other Bulldogs, right? All right. Cool. Joni, you said they gave them no chance against Yup. I'm saying somebody made some money betting the underdog. I think that's the underdog. This feels like sports in general. Underdogs have been having a moment. Yeah, they were gagging. You were gagging. Yeah. Yup. All those schools left in the MEAC. There you go. Look at Joni. Ooh. What's up? Okay, Miss Flores. Oh, wait. Okay. Rico Flores, how you doing? You get the... All right. Okay, that's how y'all know somebody with some, you know what I mean, some legal chops is in the chat. All right, let me do this. If Alvin, if you still listening, I didn't post this yet. Hey, El J, I didn't post this yet on I want to post it, well, across social media. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, let me switch out real quick. Boom. Yeah, let me go to my Google Drive, doing all this. Y'all, I wanted to show, I think this is let me see which one is done. This one right here. So shout out to Alvin, y'all. So part 2 of my interview, let me pause it. Part 2 of my interview with Alvin Johnson went up this morning at 6:07 a.m. Give your girl some. Who was dragging ass all weekend and woke up at 4 to finish editing part 2 of my interview with Alvin Johnson? I'm so proud of myself, y'all, because I edited. It takes me a long time to edit. I'm very, because I say a lot. And if my guest says something repetitive, I like to help them out too, take out their and their stuff like that. So I'm just so proud of myself. But this is a little teaser. It's 3 minutes. And I got to do better with promoting my podcast. So the podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, of course, Spotify. And I think wherever you get your podcast. Okay. So this is just a preview, y'all. You won't be video. We're working on it, but this is just 3-minute teaser featuring Alvin. So you could put like a face to the voice when you listen to it this morning. Because I know you're going to download. I know you're going to share it. I know you're going to subscribe. Right? I know you are. I know you're going to subscribe all of that in my podcast. I know you are. Okay, Alvin, what's going on?
Hey, Mika, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for joining me on Mic'd Up. This has been, for me, I may not have articulated a request. For me, this is a long time coming. I really wanted to just sit down and talk to you, but also let listeners know more about you and who you are. I said this before we hit the go button, the on air button, that you're kind of below the radar. At least that's how I see it from my perspective. But people who know you know who you are. I know y'all.
Just
introduce yourself to the listening public.
Okay, well, I'm Alvin Johnson. I'm the director of entitlements and due diligence for a company called Levi Grantham. Levi Grantham is the land arm of Crescent Homes. So basically, whenever you see a Crescent house built, my job is basically to be sure that, they get permits and everything and be able to build the infrastructure, be able to support house building. But prior to that, I was a project manager at AECOM, where I worked on the City of Charleston stormwater standards, and also helped, usher in their stormwater program, right? So that was approximately a $2 billion program, to kind of sort of address all the flooding and infrastructure needs for the City of Charleston. Prior to that, I had a firm called ATJ Engineering, where I operated at from about 2011 to 2018. I was fortunate enough to work on some large-scale projects here in Charleston, most notably the expansion of the Charleston Airport from about 2012 to 2015. And prior to that, I was with a firm called Thomas & Hutton, basically working on the other side of what I do now. And, that's kind of, I guess, how I met some of the folks that I was able to meet to get into some of the spaces and doors that I've been able to, operate in. So, and of course, I'm a 2003 Citadel graduate, and we can talk about that.
Are you saying that it made you even want to be more, I guess, expressive culturally, or make sure you maintain your identity as a Black man?
Yeah, certainly. Because at the end of the day, you kind of realize that it doesn't matter how hard you try or, whether you do everything the right way. You'll only get to a certain level of acceptance, if that makes any sense.
Listen.
But I was actually privileged later on, once I got on the football field and once I had success, right? I kind of got from some folks like OJ treatment, right? How they want OJ to sit at your table, right?
Right.
So I did experience privilege in that sense. So some of the doors that were, open for me later on in life, post-graduation, did come as a result of me being successful on the football field.
Okay, so I wanted to play that because one of the chief reasons why I wanted to interview Alvin and a whole bunch of other folks like Alvin, who I might not have worked with directly, but people who I feel are existing and working in these spaces that often confound us, often challenge us. But someone, I think we no longer can ignore like the people who make up these systems or who are behind the scenes and how they move with integrity, how they move making the best decisions that they can with a specific lens. And I think that after having a conversation with Alvin, that lens is very much there. Like not everyone who looks like me or who is maybe a person of color, who might be whatever. Not everyone has that same set of values as they operate throughout the city and work with the city, with the county, with elected officials, with powerful people from powerful schools. Not everyone has a lens. And if you listen to parts 1 and 2 of my interview with Alvin, the first one is longer. The second one is about I think around 15, 17 minutes. You'll hear him talk about how he applies this equity lens to the work, both through his professional endeavors and through the way he shows up and within the community, specifically with the Special Commission. So anyway, that's just a little teaser. I appreciate y'all listening. That is that is a thing, right? Right? Question mark. Jessica, yeah. I'm getting a little bit of a lag here in the chat, but yeah, hopefully I'll introduce you to more and more interesting people as I continue to build out content. Let me see. I wanted to open up that newsletter real quick. I'm going to get to it. Good morning to everyone who just joined. You're never late, Megsy. Thank you. Sorry I'm late. Thank you, though. You're never late. You're right on time. If you're out here and you're dedicated and committed to joining me on Mic'd Up, whether you're watching live or later, y'all know that's like my favorite thing to say. I appreciate you. All right, so today this is the newsletter you got. And shout out. We'll have a shout out to the fam, to the new friend, the new homies. Let me tell you something. I got to meet Jessica, I think one of the owners of Holy City Tattooing Collective. Let me just say this. She a real one. And the whole team over there is holding me down. So if you got the newsletter, click on the logo. And if you into ink, or you know somebody who is into ink, please go stop by this post on Instagram from Holy City Tattooing Collective. You'll learn more. I linked it directly to the post. So click on the logo and you'll see all the details for the giveaway. Shout out to those who've already reached out. Shout out to those who gave real quick. Like, this is so dope. What's so dope about this is that when businesses aren't afraid to stand next to me, that's a great thing, right? But other thing is the business is showing real and thoughtful solidarity in a way that is real. Like, I'm literally benefiting directly from this local business deciding to promote what it is that I'm trying to do. And I want to say I appreciate you, Holy City Tattooing Collective. I appreciate y'all. We asked for one thing. Mackenzie specifically asked for one thing. You gave tenfold, and I really appreciate it. So stay tuned for more on this too. Probably gonna invite the homie to help articulate some things here. But yep, in support of Charleston Activist Network's campaign, we're lifting up a raffle, $200, y'all. To $200 to be used at Holy City Tattooing Collective. All right, so check it out. I'm really, really excited. I'm happy. I'm proud. Yeah, I'm a real one. Look. I want to say this for real. I cannot say this enough. The way y'all have already. Let me switch up the camera. I gotta do this. The way y'all have come through already. I set a goal, and I think I've already said this on the live stream. I set a goal to sell 100. 100 would be great, right? Y'all have already, it's not even been a week, and I'm already halfway there. So I want to say thank you. Thank you. It's the holidays. I know Christmas is Saturday. Y'all got a lot of priorities with family and with celebrating the holiday and all that stuff. But then we got Omicron. There's a lot going on right now, but y'all have chosen to support me at this time, and I really appreciate it. I even saw my cousin from DC, and they real saved Christians. So I'm like, oh, you know I curse, right? Cousin Jackie, Cousin Daryl, y'all know I do. No, but it really means a lot when I'm seeing my folks in Philly, my folks in DC, like just seeing people just support. And I want to say thank you. More is coming out specifically about the fundraiser. I'm gonna switch it back up. I just wanted to make eye contact with y'all. I want you to see my face when I say thank you. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate it. Holy City Tattoo has been doing it. Yep. LQJ for real. Thank you for saying that in the chat. Oh my gosh. Oh really? Okay. Some of y'all is tatted up, but I didn't even know it like that. I knew Joy was tatted up. But nah, I really do appreciate y'all. So more details on the fundraiser. This is designed to be 2 weeks. So we're going to have to plan some things. I know it's a busy holiday, but that's the whole point, right? It's the giving season. I'm trying to tap into that, okay? You can always, as always, catch up on previous live streams. Brandon's live stream has to go up, and the Bell Hooks episode has to go up on YouTube. However, you can still go to Twitch and look at the videos on demand on Twitch, and you can still watch the replays there. But they will be going up today. The Bell Hooks live stream and the one on from Friday, we're featuring the homie, Brandon Silvers. All right, that will be going up today. Okay, so just sorry for that. I had a little something on the back end of YouTube, had to get it straightened out. So it's gonna go up. So yeah, that's that. Let's get. Oh God, where do we start? I did the podcast, right? We did the podcast. Let's start. Let's just get in. Yeah, we did the podcast. Let's get into it. Let's get into the local headlines and then some news clips. Let me see what y'all say in the chat. DC, let me know when you come through. Okay, I got you. Oh, for real? Ooh, don't tell me that. Ooh, that's Jessica. I'm coming. Oh, I'm coming. You a real one. Thank you for letting me know too. Yeah. All right, this is front page of the state newspaper. Excuse me, the state newspaper. I don't know why I sound extra Jersey just now. State newspaper. God, now cipher. All right, this is the state newspaper. Here you got the front page. Experts say, this is serious. No, let me be serious as I read the headline. Experts say mental health issues are fueling school violence. And then here, I'm just going to peruse the headlines, and I'll stop and read ones that I feel like coincide with today. Then you have this other one here, I guess right here in the smack dab in the middle. Continuing off that story that we learned, where we talked about last week. We talked about it last week. Law enforcement speeding through Very important training, specifically the domestic violence training. Also was like state regulation, state law, something. Shout out to the cheers. Shout out to the cheers. Thank you. Thank you for the bits. Appreciate you. So we talked about this a little bit. A bunch of officers, of course, most of them from the Charleston County Sheriff's Department, were caught up in this. And I think this is it. Wait, no. I did this last week. Am I conflating two stories? Nope, this is it. Domestic violence training. Yep. So they continue some coverage here on the front page of today's state paper. I'm sorry for the silence. So that's the state newspaper. Let's go to Post and Courier now. Post and Courier's paper yesterday. I think this is Sunday's paper. They had a huge story co-authored by Jennifer Berry Hawes, JBH, about education. Because let me tell you something. I'm gonna be very reckless right now. I ain't even gonna show you today's paper. It's nothing really eventful on today's front page. But let's get to the front page of yesterday's paper, right? So right here, Sunday, going all in for education. Now, this doesn't appear to be a part of the Education Lab series. They typically like to include that branding above or below or somewhere within the coverage, but y'all let me know if you read something else. But this is going all in for education. A tide of fed up teachers, 20,000 strong, collided with powerful lawmakers trying to reform education. Then the pandemic hit. So I haven't read this, but I did see some of my friends, some that you might know, engage with this news story over the weekend. Is Allie here? Let me see. Is Allie here? What up, Allie? What's up? What is up? Thank you so much. Who's this? Doing subs. Go ahead. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, little mama. Oh, real quick. Little mama, congratulations to you and Evelyn. Congratulations, little mama and Evelyn. They had an art exhibit. Y'all could not get to it. I just couldn't make it work. But I enjoyed seeing the pictures on Instagram, seeing Evelyn's photography. I've never seen it, and I didn't get to see it in person, but I got to see it at least online, displayed up on the wall of this gallery. And little mama, you in there engaging a bunch of people. I really love your aesthetic, little mama, too. I really do. I love it. I love how you what you create. So it was just great to see two people who are friends to the chat doing their thing and expressing themselves creatively. I love it. All right, back to the story. Sorry for the awkward segue, but you know how it is. All right. No, we're going to make it bigger. So let me just read a little bit of the beginning of this story, and then we're going to hop into the news recap of all things on this thumbnail, including boots. All right, but let's get through this, okay? Now, because JBH, Jennifer Berry Hawes, y'all know how I feel. Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm shrug. She got a Pulitzer though, so I can't, I ain't gonna be a hater. I'm not gonna hate completely, but Jennifer Berry Hawes and Sienna Adcox co-wrote this piece or contributed to this piece. So it says 3 years ago, let me make it a little bit larger. 3 years ago, energy crackled from the classrooms already. And energy crackled. Let me read it the way I think Jennifer intended it to be read. Pulitzer. 3 years ago, energy crackled from classrooms across South Carolina, swept down corridors of business, then vaulted up the storied steps of the State House. This furor. She's so dramatic. I'm sorry. Go back and read the Nancy Mace piece. Go back and read the Nancy Pace harrowing escape from insurrectionists within her own. Go back and read that and read this shit. Read this piece. It's not shit. Read this piece. She's so dramatic. 3 years ago, energy crackled from classrooms across South Carolina, swept down corridors of businesses, then vaulted up the storied steps of the State House. This furor coalesced around a single goal: fixing the state's struggling public schools. House Speaker Jay Lucas stepped up delivering a massive omnibus bill aimed at reforming education. The governor pledged to help. Teachers and their supporters marched 10,000 strong. But the winds of hope blew without synergy. Dynamics worked against the bill in fascinating collision of grassroots advocacy, politics, and need. The effort peaked just as the pandemic seized the world and people died. The students lost so much critical learning. Suddenly, the education policy, everyone debated whether students should have to wear masks in school. The bill languished. The bill languished. I'm gonna stop there because I can't. I'm sorry. And I know death was mentioned in there. You know I'm not poo-pooing death. You know that. It's just very dramatic. We done read how many paragraphs? I ain't get to like the real core of the issue. And I know 2 people contributed to that, but we know JBH be putting a little extra fairy dust on this stuff. Like, anyway, all right, I'm off that. Close that up. Let's get to some news, some video news. I'm sorry, but it's just, I ain't right, Alvin. It's so dramatic. Like, and like, I'll read it because honestly, I do have to read it. I know education advocates, I know y'all be like, Mika, come on, like, read it. I will like digest it. It was just a lot. I really do have to work up the fortitude to read through JBH sometimes because it's just heavy-handed. It's just heavy-handed. All right, good morning, Joy. Languishing, right? That is a common word. It's dramatic. I know, yo, Joni. Next time I'll do a quick search of some YouTube like dramatic. I could do it, but I ain't gonna do it. I'm not gonna. Let me stay on target because we gotta get through this. Let me get this off my feed. Let's start. Let me see. Do we want to do Mace the Mariner? Do we want to do that? What do we want to do? Let's start with something I like. Let's start, even though it's NBA, but it's sports. It's still sports. Let's start with this. HBCU game day. Let's start here. I know y'all really wanted to start with Build Back Better, but I had to work up to talking about Mansion too. Hold up. This was an upset too. Again, underdogs won. For those who don't know, this past weekend was the beginning of bowl season. So that's what all these different conferences, Power 5, all these different conferences started the bowl season. And just so happened that YouTube TV couldn't work out a deal with ESPN, so I had to subscribe. Oh, shout out to a new, somebody bought a t-shirt or something. I had to subscribe to like Hulu TV because, anyway, so the Celebration Bowl was on Saturday. And it's the HBCU. If you don't know what HBCU is, a historically black college or university and or. Nicole. I know some of y'all not sportsmen. We just looking. I just want y'all to see black people. This is black culture. This is what I was raised in. Even though I was raised up north, my dad, his church always used to take me to whenever like there was a battle of the bands or HBCU event that would come to the Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands. And also I'm the daughter of Southern people, so like it wasn't nothing for me to be acquainted with HBCU culture, band culture. My late sister, may she rest, she went to Norfolk State. So like HBCUs, I didn't go to a HBCU. I didn't go to a PWI either. But I didn't go to a HBCU, and this is just, I wanted y'all just to see what it looked like to see black people, young black athletes really have fun. And a lot of Charlestonians was in the house.
Feel lovely. Awesome. What is Lamar, man. Town of Lamar.
Yeah. So we're going to bounce out of that real quick. And then let me hit up, we're going to stay with SC State, though. That was actually a good segue. We're going to stay into this news. So we're going to center Clyburn, and then we're going to get to Washington Post did a little quick story on Biden's commencement address at SC State. So, we're not going to play more team. We're going to play this.
speech.
Shout out, new sub. Come on, come through support. Come through. Get more transactions. Thank y'all.
Well, we've had team coverage on the president's arrival throughout the day. Nigel Hood has a look at today's ceremony and what it meant for the congressman to cross the stage.
Congressman James Clyburn graduated from South Carolina State in 1961.
Come through, black reporters, black anchors.
But at the time, the university did not have a December commencement ceremony. 60 years later, he finally got to walk the stage.
I didn't know this.
Bachelor of Science, History, James E. Clyburn.
I didn't know that. That's what's up.
Summa Magna Congressional Cum Laude.
Congressional cum laude.
South Carolina's
Kia.
U.S. representative received his degree in the mail, but was not able
What's
to
up, Caroline?
walk in his commencement
Caroline
ceremony.
67, welcome.
Graduates, no matter how many times you attempt, you keep trying until you get it right. Don't give up.
Interim President Alex Conyers says he found out a few months ago Clyburn didn't have that experience most graduates look forward to after working so hard for their degrees. So he did what he could to make up for that lost moment.
It was a great opportunity that we...
That's a good way to frame it from their perspective.
...could go back and do something that we weren't able to do in 1960.
His recognition inspiring graduates at South Carolina State.
I think overall, him receiving his degree, that was, historical as well. Him just speaking to us and, letting us know that you can do it, that's really important. We can do it, especially this young generation. We can do it.
In Orangeburg, Nigel Hood, News 19,
All right.
WLTS.
And so, Kia, I saw what you dropped in the chat. Let me let this rock out. Hold up.
Well, after Clyburn, President Joe Biden took to the podium to address the graduating class, and he spoke on Clyburn's late wife, Emily, who spoke very highly of the president. Mrs. Clyburn earned her bachelor's degree at SC State as well. I'm
glad they gave her some love. Emily, may she rest. But let's go ahead. To Kia's point, yeah, it was some problematic stuff said. We're going to switch to Twitter in a second. And we actually going to do a segue to Kamala as we talk about this. Before we get to, it segue into Build Back Better. No, I didn't want this. I wanted the story on it. I just want a story on it. I thought I had queued up a story on Biden's address. No, we're not going to listen to an hour. Biden, SC State. Let's see if we get a little snippet. And not the whole thing. That's 58 minutes. That's 30 minutes. 44. Here we go. Here's a little snippet.
Just moments ago, the president wrapping up his remarks to the graduating class of 2021. We're going to talk. We're going to take now a listen at what the president had to say to the graduates.
Every once in a few generations, enter at a point in American history where it actually has a chance to change the trajectory of the country. And that's not hyperbole. You face that inflection point today, and I'm confident you'll meet the moment. You're ready because you're part of a proud and sacred tradition, an HBCU tradition, more than 180 years of excellence, institutions that instill a sense of purpose and commitment.
Okay, I'm gonna cut his mic to lift up Kia's comment. You put in it because you initially talked about how problematic his address was, and I saw Twitter talk about a lot of stuff, including me. I didn't talk at length about it though. You said, all of the black card innuendos and this idea that we young black students are the only group of people that have to fight for democracy. Yeah, what about white college students fighting as well? I want to say thank you. I think this is the tricky thing about, not tricky for me, not tricky probably for Kia, but a lot of folks just keep wanting, I guess these commencement speeches are set to inspire, but they can come off condescending a little bit. They can come off a little, in this one, Biden's just not, he used to be a very good, folksy, speech giver, eulogizer of a wretched man in Strom. There was an affability. There's an ebulliency. a part of his personality that's just not there. And I don't want to. I'm not going to ever like apply an ageist lens to my analysis. But I think observing it that perhaps he lost a step or two, I think that's valid and I think that's accurate. I did watch portions of his commencement at length. Didn't really feel, it was kind of boilerplate, probably straightforward, but there were those moments where it felt a little paternalistic. Let me open up Twitter. Okay, we're going to get to it. Let's open up Twitter real quick. Let me go to my profile. And I think I was a retweeting fool this weekend. Let me see. Screen time went down like 9%. We're going to get right here to it. We're going to get to Kamala right here to it. Let me see. Right here. So yeah, like this is what some people caught. Like, we learned that there's no difference between a black entrepreneur and a white entrepreneur is success. And now let me tell you something. The media was trying to seize upon little sound bites and make them more than what they were. It was really just a boilerplate. As a person who's been at an HBCU commencement and had to sit through, and this was in 03 Cosby, Hampton University. My God, was it a train wreck? Before all the Cosby, it was a train wreck. Even in real time, the graduates were like, what the fuck was that, right? And so as a person who sat through one of the most condescending and just off target and wonky Bill Cosby was horrible, right? Horrible and very, he kept saying he was worried about the Hampton graduating class of 2003. I'm like, you worried about Hampton grads? You worried about Hampton, public ass, school ass Hampton. Like, you worried about them? Like, all the grads I know from Hampton is doing pretty good, pretty much. Like, it was just really weird. So as someone who sat through a really like eventful commencement speech at an HBCU and see it like just completely just be horrible, this one was pretty boilerplate. But let me play this clip that people isolated to kind of make it. Admit it, like people make it a little bit. Now it's Joe. Joe talks about black people like people. Anybody born at that time, raised like Joe, all. This is how they talk about race. They're not sophisticated. They're not really smooth with it, right? It is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, let me hey, what's up, Same Facade? Let me I'm gonna read your comment while I let this play. Just 26 seconds.
Folks, what did we learn? We learned there's no difference between a black entrepreneur and a white entrepreneur in success, except the black entrepreneur usually doesn't have a lawyer. Usually doesn't have someone who is going to be there, an accountant, to get it all set up.
No, we got
Their
that.
idea is as profound.
No, we there's plenty of black lawyers, plenty of. Okay. And some of them are watching right now. It's access to capital. We talked about this, right? We talked about this, the black-white wealth gap on Friday following Brandon's interview. We talked about this, right? So if you really want to know my thoughts on like, well, what could he have said better? Go back and watch Friday's live stream. Right now it's on Twitch. It'll be up on YouTube later. Go back and watch it. Those are the things that speak to those. Don't just speak to this like these really broad, like almost like not stereotypes. What's the word I'm looking for? Like maybe like a caricature of the real problem, not really an accurate depiction of the problem. But again, this is what they do. They get up there, they just mention race and everybody will clap, right? That's the thing. Joni says, I'm not going to lie. The only reason why I participated in grad ceremonies was because of my parents. Me too. I tried to get out of there. I just wanted to eat Italian. I found a box of like commencement related things to my commencement like a few weeks ago, like maybe a couple months ago, when I was getting ready for Meekmas, and I saw the Italian restaurant. All I wanted to do was eat at an authentic Italian restaurant in Jersey City. That's it. I wanted to get my diploma and bounce. My mom bought all the pictures. My mom signed up for the Alumni Association. My mom wanted all of that, and I get it. I totally get it now, but at the time I was like, I don't even want to do this. I don't want to do this. You can't imagine, Same Facade, you said you can't imagine sitting through commencement with Cosby, blah. It was in real time. You heard people like saying, "What? Like what? Because you thought it was gonna be funny and just nope." He was horrible. He was so bad. It was, I'm not, if you can find footage of it, and I'm sure you can, it is bad. Yeah. Key, you mentioned the word microaggression, right? It is. It is. It feels like awkward Thanksgiving with, with white uncle. I don't know. Right. Okay. So let's segue, right? So he gave this speech. Well, I didn't finish the 26 seconds.
But the help is missing.
Yeah, pretty straightforward, right? So, what I learned last week, because I was watching that show, was it Rising on the Hill, Rising on thehill.com TV. They talked about Simone Sanders leaving. Let me just, for those who don't know, because some of y'all gotta remember, some people who are black famous ain't white people famous, ain't mainstream famous. So let me do this. Simone, if y'all don't know, Simone used to be like very, very prominent on CNN and whatnot. But she rose to public, I guess, fame or public notoriety by being a top communications, I believe, staffer with Biden, right? With Bernie, with the Bernie campaign. That's how I learned about her, right? She was this really beautiful, full-figure black woman with this beautiful bold lip, fly haircut, and she had the gift of gab. When you talk about an operative, when you talk about an aide, a high-level advisor, you talk about having the right stuff. Simone is that. Now I want to say this: Simone got local ties. I'm gonna leave it there. She got local ties. We'll talk about it later. I don't want to get off track. And nothing untoward. Just she got local ties, right? And so that to me made some things with Charlemagne kind of like made me think about something. She got local ties, right? You know, her boo is from here, and her boo's daddy is somebody y'all know, right? So, but these made news recently. Simone Sanders, senior advisor to Vice President Harris, will leave post. Now, if you remember during the campaign, to get Simone from Bernie, let me just be real. This is when I peel back a little bit. Y'all already know this though. To get from Bernie to Biden cost a few bags. And I was wondering, I had this conversation in private. I won't say with who other former Biden administration staffers. I won't say who. But I had this conversation like, where is Simone? Why does he have more of a public profile? I never got why, like, because during the Bernie campaign, she was everywhere. And even early on in the Biden campaign, she was more prominent as he was like during the primary. And then when he was a nominee, I think some things shifted. And like outside of that time when she had to get the protest, where she thought she had to wrestle the protesters off the stage, and you saw that that picture of her like grabbing that protester off the stage that one time, her and Jill Biden. Outside of that, you really didn't see a lot from her. I thought that was just an interesting trajectory, because usually someone of her with her face ID and her voice and her acumen usually figures a little bit more prominently, like the chick that's the chief of staff of Kamala. What's her name? Oh, she got the French name. I can't remember her name. But like you would think that you would see her a little bit as regularly as I see her or some other folks. But nah. And so Simone Sanders, senior advisor, vice president, she will leave at the end of the year. At the end of this year. So it says right here, let me read it. Simone Sanders, the senior advisor, chief spokesperson for Vice President Harris, is leaving her position at the end of the year, according to two administration officials with knowledge of the matter. Part of the exodus of staffers from the vice president's embattled office. Now that's true. So there's a lot going on. But then, this probably was filmed not yesterday, not 2 days ago. But listen right here. So this Brianna Joy Gray was trying to stew the pot a little bit. But look at this real quick, because I want y'all to peep game. And I'm not a huge fan of Charlemagne, right? But he peeped game here. He even let me make sure my computer doesn't fall. Charlemagne got it. He should know it. He's high profile. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. High profile media face, right? Yeah. All right. So let me see. All right. I'm just looking at the chat real quick before I move on. You like Simone? I like Simone. I like a gangster. I don't really like. She's a mercenary, right? So she's an operative. So when I say that, largely I mean pretty much hired, like a hired gun. I don't mean that purely pejorative, but for you to go from Bernie to Biden, that means you a tool. You a very, very, very important instrument that's designed to do one thing, and that's to advance the messaging. Now, one of the criticisms, if black people, if white folk, and I'm gonna keep making these distinctions, don't get frustrated by that. It's real. But black media has been talking about Kamala's comms strategy for a minute. Roland Martin is like the most notable name, and we're gonna get to that in a sec. Maybe we're gonna get to it. I don't know. But her comms strategy has really been bad. And there's been a huge, not huge, but a significant number of people leaving the Harris office, and they don't look good. Her approval ratings are poo-poo. Biden's approval rating is shit. But check out this moment on Charlemagne's show, where the vice president is asked a direct question. Give it up. I don't really give that much applause to Charlemagne, but he was on it. He was on it right here, at least in a very small way.
Who's the superhero that's going to speak against Joe Manchin?
Can y'all hear that?
The president of this country, is it Joe Biden or Joe Manchin?
So he asked, I want to know who the real president of this country is, Joe Biden or Joe Manchin, right? That's what he just asked. And if you can't hear, there's some noise going on. Now, granted, this person recorded a screen, and this is not like, a downloaded video, what have you. But you still can hear this noise of it sounds like confusion. And then you see the Vice President, you see her kind of flip her hair a little bit. To me, that connotes that maybe there's two people talking, somebody in her ear or somebody at her side trying to tell her something. So that's Simone. So that's Simone Sanders, who again it's been announced that she's leaving at the end of the month. As soon as Manchin comes up, Simone says, "I'm sorry I interrupted," and she kind of act like there's a technical difficulty, right? After Charlemagne asked specifically about Manchin, right? Now this is interesting because Charlemagne is not a hard interview at all. But this move right here kind of exasperated this moment, and you don't ever want to go viral like this. Even though the K-Hive was trying to come out and say, "Oh, she got him, she got Charlemagne, she got him." No. Don't put no AKA twist on this. No shade, Joni, to the AKAs, but don't put no twist on this. This was really unfortunate.
She can hear me.
So Simone communicated, "Oh, we can't hear you. We can't hear you." And Charlemagne was like, "She can hear me," and he was right. This is how they're acting like a malfunction. I've seen this in real life, y'all. I've seen this firsthand. This happened with a major comms team. I'm not gonna mention what camp. I've seen some similar things like this at a round table happen. That's when the aide comes out coughing with a cup of water, or comes out oh, here's a napkin. A cup of water maybe with the message on the napkin. You know what I mean? So I've seen this before.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, Madam Vice President?
Sorry, you got it right. I'm sorry to interrupt.
They're acting like they can't hear me.
Exactly.
I can hear you.
So who's the real president of this country? Is it Joe Manchin or Joe Biden, Madam Vice President?
Come on, Charlemagne. It's Joe Biden.
I can't tell.
No. Listen.
No. It's Joe Biden, and don't start talking like a Republican about asking whether or not he's president.
Do you think Joe Manchin is a problem?
It's Joe Biden.
As someone that I retweeted said on Twitter, it's easier to scold. Look, I paused it perfectly. It's easier to scold Charlemagne than it is to collect Manchin. It's easy to do that. And also, y'all notice I've been candid about this. If you are the spouse of an elected official, and you respond to something I said about your husband, Greek Freak, I'm going to talk about what you said. So basically, the Greek Freak, Ty Rutherford, his new wife, she didn't like what I said. I've been talking about Greek Freak and earmarks and whatnot, and she hit me with the same thing Kamala hit Charlemagne with. bring the party down. You talk Republican talking points. That's a go-to for moderates, right? Any type of conflict, any type of substantive question. Literally after this aired, literally Manchin sunk the goddamn Build Back Better. So like it just really looked bad. After this aired, because I'm assuming this aired like at the end of last week. I don't know when his show comes on, but as soon as this aired, Manchin was like, I can't do it. I just can't. I can't. It was a fair question from Charlamagne.
I'm Vice President. My name is Kamala Harris.
Oh, come on, girl. Put that finger away. And for those who don't understand, yes, Joe Biden could do something to rein in Manchin. Absolutely. When they floated out, the parliamentarian this weekend, the parliamentarian, she's not gonna let the legislation. What? Let me find the tweet. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I was retweeting as. Well, they talked about like they always position like the parliamentarian as being some big obstruction, but we've seen it with the Trump administration. You can excuse the parliamentarian, and so it's just they could do more. They could excuse the parliamentarian. They could really start to lean on Manchin and hit him where it hurts back at home. They could start with withholding certain resources. They could start, and I'm sure that they probably think that would look bad, but they could start really applying pressure to both Sinema and Manchin, but they don't and they won't, right? So let me transition back and close this out. Let me transition back to other news, but that going into Build Back Better is a good segue. So Biden made this, not necessarily to me noteworthy speech. If there are some valuable takeaways from the speech, y'all want to share, you can drop them in the chat. But I really wasn't moved to watch too much. So this is the news that broke. This is the news that broke over the weekend. I'm gonna start actually. Let's start right here. I cannot. I was watching the Sunday shows, got all my shopping done by 9:30, came back from Trader Joe's in Mount Pleasant by 9:30. I'm a real one. I came back, sat down, settled in and watched this bullshit.
I cannot vote to continue with this piece of legislation. I just can't.
Ugh.
I've tried everything humanly possible.
Ugh.
I can't get there.
You're done. This is a no.
Oh, I know, Joni.
This is a no.
I hope that we will bring a strong bill to the floor of the Senate as soon as we can and let Mr. Manchin explain to the people of West Virginia why he doesn't have the guts to stand up to powerful special interests.
It's hard to deliver service for 1 year or 3 years or 5 years, and how are we going to continue them? Unless it's going to put a burden or unless we have to go back and make adjustments. But we should be upfront and pick our priorities. That's the difference. So it hasn't shrunk in the desire. The intent is always there.
And deficit of trust was about Senator Manchin. He has continued to move the goalpost.
Mm-hmm.
He has never negotiated in good faith. And he is obstructing the president's agenda, 85% of which is still left on the table. And in obstructing the president's agenda, he is obstructing the people's agenda.
This Build Back Better bill, I think, is an absolute disaster. They don't even know how they're going to implement the infrastructure bill. We're still trying to figure out the rules on the ARP bill. So I know Washington is just all about pushing this money out for political reasons. At the end of the day, you have to make sure that every state has the right balance.
And almost every Democrat is trying, finally, to address these issues.
Yeah. Did you know this was coming?
Mr. Manchin doesn't want to support us. Well, look, we've been dealing with Mr. Manchin for month after month after month. But if he doesn't have the courage to do the right thing for the working families of West Virginia and America, let him vote no in front of the whole world.
Yeah.
It is incumbent upon us to do everything possible to meet the needs of that most marginalized movement, which made this majority possible. We run the risk of risking the majority, not by going big, but by playing small.
Yep.
So, of course, I have concerns about us not keeping our promises.
That student loan debt, and it's just, it goes on and on and on. I know that Ayanna Presley's comments and her fundraising, quite frankly, if you're getting the emails like I am, her appearance on the Sunday shows, her statements that she released following Manchin's disappointing, announcement on Fox, no less, as someone in media has pointed out, Manchin is the recipient of donations from Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch, of course, is a media, behemoth and he owns tons of media outlets, including Fox News. So it's no surprise that Manchin shows up on Fox News Business to talk about why he's not going to coalesce around the party's decision to support sweeping legislation that would bring about so much important change. It's somewhat akin to, the OG New Deal, and could really bring about change and transformation. But they knew he was going to do this. He's saying his number was 1.5. They said it's two. You know, good and goddamn well, even if they took off $500 billion, he still say no. He'd balk at that. So, it wasn't when they separated the legislation. And I think Cori Bush is going to say it right here. When they separated the legislation, we knew from the infrastructure legislation, we knew it was doomed, and progressives have been saying this for a minute. Now, I do not like this Capehart dude. I think he's a cornball, and I mean that. That's my astute political analysis. He's a cornball moderate, and usually his appearances and his show here on MSNBC, but his appearances on PBS NewsHour are there. Like his appearances, he uses his time to advance very, very moderate perspectives and views. Like he's center and he's safe, and he wants to maintain certain access to certain things and shows and people and institutions. And so Capehart I'm not a fan of, but we're going to listen to Cori Bush right here.
Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley was among the Democrats expressing outrage this morning after her fellow Democrat, West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin, announced that he will not vote for the Build Back Better Act, effectively killing the legislation in its current form. Joining me now for more reaction, Congresswoman Cori Bush, Democrat from Missouri. Congresswoman Bush, thank you very much for coming to the Sunday show. Your reaction to the news announced by Senator Manchin.
So, first of all, it is not a huge surprise. No. We have been, and let me be clear, there are 6 of us who had been saying this all along. Representative Ocasio-Cortez, Representative Pressley, Representative Tlaib, Representative Bowman, Representative Omar, and myself. We have been saying this for weeks, that this would happen, and we took the hits. We were told that we were anti our caucus, we were anti-democracy, we were anti this and that, when actually what we were and what we still are is pro the people, because the people have to be first. The people have to win. And so when I think about this this was a no all along. And so what we had was a bit of leverage, which was having the coupling of the 2 bills, the BIF, the infrastructure package, as well as the Build Back Better Act. Having those coupled together was the only leverage we had. And what did the caucus do? We tossed it, and for me, it's really, it's sad. It's sad for us to say, let's look good instead of being good. Let's look strong instead of being strong. Let's look like we have a win instead of actually having a win. You know what makes us look good? What being good. So if we're actually good, that means St. Louis has what St. Louis needs. That means that St. Louis is strong. That's how I quantify.
So I thought long. Let me pause it in a better place for Cori. I don't want. There we go. Okay, there we go. I mean, she nailed it. This. And also too, putting on the comms hat. I'm not a comms professional, but putting on the comms hat. This is how you use your time on a national weekend show, political show, right? This is what you do. This is how you show up, right? That's number one. Now taking that hat off, I'm talking to you as Mika here. A lot of y'all, I'm like, well, Mika, what do you want? I know a lot of moderates who don't enjoy my constant critiques of the establishment, both here in South Carolina and nationally. What I'm trying, and if they really wanted to engage on this content, engage on this subject, from a more honest perspective, they do understand what we're saying. We're understanding that moderation is never going to get us to where we need to be. This is going to sound a little like off, but it's not. Especially if you listen to my interview with Alvin Johnson, the podcast, right? I'm not even plugging the podcast. There's something about that conversation that Alvin and I had that I was hoping to get through, which is like, okay, I want to get your experience as a black man, former collegiate athletic standout, accomplished businessman, right? I wanted to get Alvin's perspective on what it feels like to be a man in that packaging and show up in these predominantly white, very wealthy spaces? And how do you move things? How do you move change? And one thing that Alvin said that stuck with me is that you could try to play the game of compromising. And I think in that context, we're talking about assimilation as a black person, right? Let's assimilate. Let's accommodate the microaggressions. Let's accommodate messaging not being directly for us, not being included. Let's accommodate all these things that really don't really bode well for us. You could try that. You could try to accommodate that type of foolishness, or try to assimilate into mainstream, problematic ass white supremacist culture. But that only gets you so far. And that's more directly of what Alvin offered up. It's like that only gets you so far. When you actively try to push things forward from within, it sounds and look a lot like the Squad or like the progressive sect of our Democratic governing body. When you actually are inside and you have a different type of set of values, and you're going to come with that equity lens, you're going to come with a critical class analysis, a critical race analysis, it looks and sounds like what you hear from Corey right here, right? And it comes a time where compromise and moderation and incremental change just won't work. There's a place and time for all of that, right? I'm a big fan of finesse. I'm a big fan of precision and nuance, right? And being a mellow gangster. But there's a time and place for you to kick in the door waving the 4-4. And this was the time to do it. And they didn't do it. And we're not surprised at Manchin. People like me are not surprised with the Democrats. We're not surprised, right? And so moderation and we'll get in there and then we'll suss it up. No. Kick in the door waving the 4-4. We want change. We want sweeping reforms. We want to, you promised at least a little piece of that student loan canceled, right? At this point, I'll take the fucking 50,000. Excuse me for cursing that hard, but I'll take the 50,000. All right, at this point, you're not giving me nothing. And this shit kicks up right now, this month, next month, right? Give us something. And I'm so convinced now more than ever that the Democrats want to keep problems in place so they can keep fundraising, so they can keep, so that, don't solve the problem because the problem is lucrative. Advocating to help the problem, that's lucrative. You'll always have a sense of relevance if the problem persists. Just like problematic and toxic nonprofit industrial complex, they're not really trying to eradicate the issue because then they'll go out of business. These Dems know how to keep power just a little bit, just a skosh. And so moderates, like, in all due respect, got his cap and gown on this weekend, but moderates like Clyburn, they gonna be fine. They're going to be fine. They're going to maintain a little district. They already got things in the works, like to maintain their little stronghold, and they're going to pass it down. They're going to anoint. We're not going to pick Clyburn's successor. Clyburn's going to pick his successor. We're not going to be able to, unless something happens, and you know what I mean? We're not going to be able to pick his successor. He's going to pick it. Power's going to stay, this type of centrist power is going to stay in power. Because if the problem isn't eradicated, then, their usefulness is never going to be questioned, right? Does that make sense? Let me read the chat real quick. Let me see. Let me see. Carolyn, you said so true. I guess you responded to something else that El Cool J said, or the Kia and El Cool J's having a conversation. He says, but Kia, you said, I'm gonna just pick up here, but I don't think they are siding with Manchin. He's taking hostage the situation. I think the Dems can't stand him, right? Some can't, some don't. Some can't stand him. Some don't give a fuck. And then LKG, you said, I guess I was trying to say that they actually bet on him and his promises rather than trusting wiser but more leftist voices. They could have applied pressure. It's time to start. It's time to start taking that. West Virginia is a very poor state, and I'm not saying you should victimize the people of West Virginia, but there are some things you could start taking away ASAP. There's certain things, there are certain votes you could do, there are certain things you could do to start tightening the screws ASAP, calling in some favors. And Biden got a bunch. And he's just not doing it. So Caroline, I guess you agree with what I was trying to assert. You said so true. Let's not solve the problem, right? It affects your pocket, yeah. And look at all even from the Squad. Look at all the emails that y'all got after Manchin's appearance on Fox Business or Fox whatever, right? Right, and I'm not saying that the squad is taking advantage of it. I'm saying, but this is what it is, right? So when something like this happens, oh, let's get out. Oh, please don't get me fucked up this November. I'ma be in the booth like Tony Romo with this shit. I'ma be calling this. That don't call me about no get to the polls. Don't call me about no talking to no candidates unless they gonna say something very interesting. I'm not talking to no candidates. I ain't talking to no Democratic Party. I ain't talking to nothing. I'm going to watch y'all because you know what? We showed up in historic numbers and y'all delivered us with this bullshit. And we told you that Joe Biden was mid-range reefer-ass leadership. We told you his shit was mid. And you still pushed this motherfucker through. We told you this dude done already, like, it's time. It's past his prime. And here we go again. And I'm not doing nothing. And I'm talking about from a black woman perspective. We can't vote our way out of this. Cliff Albrigh's been saying that for months. And then they didn't even come out with any voting rights protections legislation. Oh, fuck this. Oh, I'm not. Okay, get your ass handed to you in 2022. I don't want to see no vote shit. I don't want to see I don't want to see no civil rights. I don't want to see nothing. No bus boycott. I don't want to see none of that shit that y'all try to. I don't like black women. Yes, I don't want to see none of that shit. None of those softball pieces when black women operatives and sorority and the Divine Nine. I don't want to see none of that shit because you fumbled this shit on purpose. Do it your damn self, as one of my mean aunties would tell me. You know what I mean? Do it your damn self. You know so much. You know every goddamn thing. Right? So that's a little bit. I want to play a little bit of this clip too. It actually includes a better resolution of
right before July.
of the Kamala piece. Let me see.
All right, and our roundtable is not walking away either. We have the CEO of Democracy for America, Yvette Simpson, former Trump Justice Department official Sarah Isgur, now political analyst for The Dispatch, Politico Playbook co-author Rachel Babe, and Washington Post national political reporter Robert Costa, co-author of Peril with Bob Woodward. So, Yvette, let me start with you. It was, Biden.
Jessica, I love your back. Oh my God, a full bag of dry ass shake, seeds and stems and buds, all of it. That's the Biden administration, for real, for real.
Was elected as the guy that was going to put this behind us. And you remember right before July 4th, he said we were close to having independence, declaring independence from the pandemic. So what's happened?
I think what's happened is people have gotten relaxed. I mean, once the vaccination started to come out, mask mandates started to go down, and people got comfortable. And, people have talked about COVID fatigue. It's real, but we have to continue to remind people that folks are dying from COVID every day. And when these surges happen, this is a real issue, and we might end up right back where we started. So I think...
Let me fast forward.
An interview that Kamala Harris...
Let me fast forward to the Kamala interview part.
I
know we watched
perhaps even his domestic agenda. So we had Build Back Better, the big social infrastructure bill seems to be put off. Whether it will, what kind of traction it will get next year. I want to play for you an interview that Kamala Harris did with Charlemagne the God on his Comedy Central.
To hear this ABC this week say Charlemagne the God makes me laugh.
Show the God's honest truth, showing some real frustration with a particular senator from West Virginia.
So who's the real president of this country? Is it Joe Manchin or Joe Biden, Madam Vice President?
Come on, Charlemagne.
Come
on. It's Joe Biden.
I can't tell sometimes.
No.
So this aired Friday.
It's Joe Biden.
Do you think Joe Manchin is a problem?
It's Joe Biden, and I'm Vice President, and my name is Kamala Harris.
So some passion there from the vice president. But by the way, some breaking news. Senator Manchin has just said that he is a firm no on
Who's
this. Whose
hairline, old boy right here?
So let me ask
Warrior.
you, Rachel, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you had been saying for some time you thought it was a matter of if, not a matter of if, but when this legislation passed. What do you think now?
Yeah, I think it's time to reassess that prognosis. Clearly, they've got a big problem here on a number of issues. Number one, they sort of lost their greatest forcing mechanism to get this done. That was the Christmas deadline that Chuck Schumer set out in Congress. You know that if lawmakers want to get something done, you bump it up right up against the holidays, and often that sort of clears the decks and gets things through. Well, that didn't work. Neither did the expiration of the enhanced child tax credit. Going into an election year, Democrats sort of saw this as something saying they had to pass to extend that child tax credit to keep making sure American families get these payments in an election year when they're facing, an uphill battle. And then Joe Manchin just saying he's a no on Build Back Better. I mean, look, this is a guy who has a fundamental ideological problem with spending $2 trillion at a time when we have a $30 trillion debt and inflation is at a 40-year high. This is going to be a big problem for him. He has problems with the structure of the bill, and I'm not sure it can pass the way it is right now. They might have to totally rework this thing, and we don't know what it's going to look like or when or if it's going to happen.
And Bob, I mean, it's not like Manchin's kept a secret of what Rachel's just said. I mean, he's actually been pretty consistent. I frankly haven't really understood the optimism that we've heard coming out of the White House.
Me neither. I don't want to stop it there. I just wanted you to get that reaction in response from another pundit. It's really peculiar, and that helped. That really did do that. She did a great job outlining like the problems and like what all was wrapped up in this. Right? It wasn't. It's just really a missed opportunity. I don't know how after insurrection you fumble like power, fumble your position. Right? I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Let me see if there was any more on this. Okay, let's do a little segue. Oh, let me see. Okay, we gotta talk. Oh, yeah. We gotta I'm gonna get Mace out the way, right? So let's get Mace out the way. Then we're gonna get to the business district. Shout out to y'all who reached out about like wanting me to talk more about the business investment districts. One thing I did do last time, and I said this last week again, I glossed over that meeting. We looked at Helen Hill from the CVB and the chick that owns Krogan's with her sister with that scarf. We listened to them, but we're going to go back now and listen to more. And also I'm going to read as discreetly as I can and read a message from a concerned citizen about what they lifted up and maybe pull from that. But a lot of people are concerned about the business investment district. And so the reason why I showed this because this is a story on it right here from Channel 2 News, Downtown Business District. And we visited this before, but I want to bring it back. So after we finish Mace, and there's some reporting here from the Post and Courier about the improvement district that we'll revisit as well. But let's go ahead and see what Boots, Mace and Boots is up to. And again, I care about animals. This is not that. This is not animal advocacy. This is just political opportunism. Oh, we gotta get to that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna get to that. Okay. So let me play this Monkey Island bullshit.
Meanwhile, an important spotlight is being shown on the deadly animal.
Again, look at Will Kane. Talk about fumbling. How you fumble that ESPN bag, dude? Now you on the weekends on Fox. Cornball. Always knew Will Kane Sports Analysis had racial animus in it. Always knew. And then he got let go from ESPN and it landed over here. It confirmed everything. Everyone always felt that little racial twinge, that little tang of discrimination in his coverage of sports when he was a sports commentator or sports, media member. So this is the title of this video is from Nancy Mace's own YouTube page. It's Representative Nancy Mace highlights discoveries of Monkey Island.
Meanwhile, an important spotlight is being shown on the deadly animal experiments funded by Dr. Fauci's NIH. Morgan Island in South Carolina, also known as Monkey Island, is inhabited by free-range monkeys. The island is also the site of apparently brutal monkey testing and abuse, all funded by Fauci's NIH. The animal experiments have cost American taxpayers nearly $100 million.
Really, Will? Really? They acting like this is like Planet of the Apes, is like some sort of like get out of here. Like if you go to Monkey Island, you're gonna see like a submerged Statue of Liberty sticking up out the water or some shit. Like, get out of here.
2007. Now, South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace sent a letter to Dr. Fauci requesting information about this disturbing testing. And the Congresswoman joins me now, along with Justin Goodman, White Coat Waste Project's Vice President of Public Policy. Great to have you both on the program tonight. Congresswoman, as I understand it, you recently took a trip to Morgan Island.
Let me
find
this.
What you learned about what's going on
I gotta find
at Monkey Island.
Here she is. Okay.
Well, for decades now, folks in the Low Country in South Carolina, we all knew about Morgan Island, nicknamed it Monkey Island, but we've been told year after year.
White coat waste. Let's look that up. White coat waste. That's an interesting name because you literally could do that with like you can go through her biggest campaign donors, and I'm sure they have some interesting ties to some testing and whatnot. White coat waste. This girl like know how to find a camera. Here we go. Stop the taxpayer funded waste. Here she go. Oh my God. Let's hear the wind battle with their mics. Let's see if they got.
Right, this is Justin Goodman from White Coat.
Oh, they got good mics. Hold on, let me see.
Waste Project, and we're here today at Morgan Island, also known as Monkey Island, off the coast of Beaufort, South Carolina, with Congresswoman Nancy Mace, and we're here to expose this paradise to pain pipeline that exists, where monkeys are being shipped from this island.
Whoa! What kind of phrase did he coin?
This paradise to pain pipeline that exists.
Paradise to pain pipeline. That is a no, dog. It's a no for me, dog.
Where monkeys are being shipped from this island over to the National Institutes of Health for incredibly painful, invasive, and ultimately deadly experiments. Congresswoman Mace has taken the lead on this issue and is working to expose what's going on here and ultimately end it.
Yeah, and I want to thank Justin. I want to thank everyone at White Coat Waste and all the activists that are out there that are also sharing what we're doing.
Human rights, though. How you doing on that, Nancy?
South Carolina Representative Nancy Mace is set to visit Monkey Island to fight alleged animal abuse.
She's looking into the alleged animal testing happening to the monkeys who live there.
Mace is leading an effort to expose the testing with the White Coat Waste Project.
Taxpayer watchdog group White Coat Waste Project submitted a Freedom of Information Act request to find out more about what happens there and to the monkeys. They discovered 600 are removed from the island each year for experiments.
Did they dock the boat? And did they get off the boat? Did they dock the boat and get off?
Funded by tax.
Got a team with a what is this? What do you call that kind of zoom lens? Damn, you got more press on the boat. You got more camera people on the boat than you got like
dollars.
I want some sort of plan for these kinds of scientific experiments to be transitioned out, whatever that plan looks like. I don't want taxpayer dollars spent on it.
Mace wrote a letter to Dr. Fauci demanding answers on the testing and says so far.
See, just like I don't want to see that. Just like abortion activists, they take it too far with the imagery.
Congresswoman Nancy
way too far.
Mace to get answers from Dr. Anthony Fauci.
And millions of dollars are spent on experiments, some of the most cruel and painful experiments in the entire federal government, and no pain relief is provided, and either they die in the experiments or they're killed afterwards.
Cool. Now do it with our corrections. Do it with our detention centers, where they're literally killing inmates, where inmates don't have access to health care, where they don't report or record the deaths of those in custody at our county jails, where our prisons are understaffed, and those who are incarcerated don't have access to quality health care to help them during COVID and whatnot. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. You stop, Kia. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all worse than me with the personal appearance stuff. Let me stop. It's my fault because I talk mad shit about stuff. I know it's my fault. Y'all gotta stop talking about people's hairlines and hair color. Her winning the hair. It was very dramatic. Going back to JBH in her writing of a lot of things. Yeah. What is going on? I'm getting like a lot of spam calls or something. Oh, it's definitely okay. I know. It's just spam. What's up, Robo Blocker? You're supposed to block all that. All right. It's very dramatic. Clearly not a priority. Look, we're not saying that. I'm not saying monkeys should be tested on. I'm not saying any animal should be tested on. But this is just me just trying to just get a headline. Let me see if somebody. I'm just gonna do a search. Monkey. Oop. Island. Mace. Let me just do that on Twitter. See if there was any I don't know. So Post and Courier covered it as well, and had pictures of the monkeys on the island. Oh no, that's not monkeys. That's just okay. Sorry, I thought those were monkeys. Thought that's why they included that picture. No, those are just birds on some kind of sandbar. She made sure to get her photo op. Yep. She's like, look, I'm getting rid of my chief of staff. And we're going. So yeah, Channel 2 News covered it. Oh, hair.
If Nancy Mace.
Okay, I know I said don't talk about appearance. That hair is ambitious though. This local, this Texas or Jersey? This Texas or Jersey, because we love it.
Happening today, South Carolina Representative Nancy Mace is set to visit Monkey Island in Beaufort County to fight alleged animal abuse.
I would have said, yo, can I rock a ponytail today? This was a choice. So I'm not, look, I won't make fun of nothing that's not someone's choice. Like, this is a choice.
Mace says hundreds of monkeys are taken from the island each year to be used in gruesome science experiments at the hands of Dr.
That's a lot of volume. And I'm from Jersey. Okay. And I'm, yeah. Okay. Yeah, White Coat Waste is on it. Getting 20 likes on this. Glad he's smiling as they, talk about dying monkeys. The memes are interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting political strategy. I don't know the kind of calculations she's making. But just further, also, I will say this on a serious note. What this does do is it will lead. So when she tried, so when Mace tries to separate herself from the problematic arm of the GOP, when she'll do that, right? She'll try to separate herself, say, I'm not that bad, right? I just really want you to understand that undermining Fauci's integrity, impugning his integrity, impugning his intellect, impugning his leadership on this is very damaging. So when she'll love to lift up that I'm bad, but I'm gross, but I'm not as gross as Madge over there, right? Or Marge, not Madge, Marge over here, right? I'm not gonna say anything I'm not gonna talk about Islamophobia and shit like that, right? That she'll try to make those distinctions, but undermining Fauci right now as we're facing Omicron, I think also she is setting herself up now. I have, as much as I talk shit about Speak Strategic and Tyler and that whole House of Horrors over there, a political consultant group, I know that they've got talent and they will find a way to seize on this undermining of Fauci's leadership because Dr. Annie Andrews is a doctor. She can fall back on the science, yada, yada, yada. But I think this is the thing where people need to pay keen attention to. Hey, sometimes the really bad and gross stuff doesn't look obviously bad and gross, but constantly chipping away at the public's confidence in Fauci will have disastrous outcomes that we need to hang on her. And so I'm sure Speak Strategic will, if there's a debate, if there's a round table, there's a whatever you want to call it, with these candidates, hopefully they'll speak to that. They'll speak to her deliberately trying to make you doubt Fauci's leadership, making political or gaining political points at a time where a lot of us are grappling with this pandemic and trying to get through. And I think that's a really fucked up thing to do, to say the least. For lack of a better phrase, right? It's just really fucked up, and you need to pay attention to that. All right, so let me transition now from Monkey Island to business, local business that is, right? So actually I'm gonna start here, which I said something last week during the discussion about the black-white wealth gap, that, the live stream we did on Friday with Brandon. I said something that was not my original thought, and I hope I did say it at the time. Like, they're trying to turn Charleston into basically the peninsula, y'all. You already see it. The peninsula is just supposed to be a place for temporary residents in the form of guests who stay at these hotels. It's supposed to be a tourism haven. Essentially, the city will displace not just the black people that they've already been successfully displacing, but they will continue to displace regular small businesses. They will continue to displace white homeowners, white renters, unless you can really afford, unless you're like millionaire, billionaire status, you won't be able to call the peninsula home, right? So you can see that. And they're trying to, the take that's not mine that I got from a friend was, they're trying to turn Charleston into like Barbados or Bermuda. Y'all dropped some names in the chat last week. Some think of a tropical getaway that has no real residential presence, right? And that is just strictly for tourists. That's what Charleston, that's what the peninsula is aiming to be. That's why you see mad growth in places like Johns Island. You see folks trying to rezone Wadmalaw, right? You see folks, reaching out, branching out to Somerville, and North Charleston is making a play as well. And one part of the conversation that came up last week with the trusted friend was, you can argue that there needs to be just more attention paid over in North Charleston, and then Charleston is pretty much done. And I'm not saying that like don't fight, don't show up, don't protest. I'm saying like the shit's been like when Riley was in office, those 11 TIFs, they're bearing fruit now, right? Especially with this real estate market, and especially with the help of hotel investment firms and whatnot. So let's watch this story, and I'm probably gonna visit Emma's piece in the Post and Courier on it after this, so you get an understanding as to the vision for Charleston. And correct me if I'm wrong, the vision for Charleston, I think we've all arrived at that conclusion. The vision for Charleston is to just be a tourist haven. I would even argue, even this part that I'm in, which is technically West Ashley, they don't want this to be residential, homeowner. Nah, the goal is to really either, I think, I don't know. It's just, this is not, there's nothing that the city is doing to me to demonstrate that they're actually trying to slow down the sprawl. They actually accelerated it quite a bit over the pandemic. And I need to start paying more attention and platforming some of these things that I'm reading in the business section, not in A section, not in section A, in the business and real estate sections, specifically on Sundays. That's where you see a lot of the movement. That's when you'll read about, that's where and when you'll read about our relationship to Qatar and the money that's coming in from oil-rich nations, coming into our airports, coming into Johns Island, and so on and so forth, coming into the Republican Party. So you'll see a lot of that. You'll see that reporting at least as much as Post and Courier will put out in the business section. But let's play this clip.
The Charleston School of Law is filing suit against the city of Charleston. School leaders say the city breached their contract.
Listen to this.
The lawsuit stems from an agreement made several years ago that would have allowed the School of Law to sell property at the corner of Meeting and Wolf Streets. Now the school wants to sell that land to a hotel group, but the city is opposing that decision. The city says it won't comment on pending litigation, but is defending its position.
Yeah, and hopefully too we'll have April come either as some sort of guest, either call in or Zoom. April McGill, y'all know, friend to the chat, friend to the.
We go now to
friend to the live stream. Sorry, y'all.
The Charleston
friend to the live stream. All right, and so I'm gonna queue up this next. Hopefully, April will come in. We'll talk about the affordable housing crisis and how some of these organizations, some of these businesses, are positioning themselves to kind of just to accelerate the issue. So let me look up Emma's story. Let me see on Twitter. Let me see. Yeah, let me just go back to my Twitter because I think I linked the story there. Go back to my profile, and then I'll hop into the December 6th or 7th city council meeting with the business district because we didn't spend enough time there, admittedly. Let me see where we go. Oh, here we go. Spider-Man meme. Yeah. All right. So so this is let me make this a little larger. So a shout out to Emma. Is it Whalen? Emma Whalen with the Post and Courier. In 2005, Charleston sold land at a discount. This is Charleston MO as an organizer, and I won't say too much because we're currently suing the city. But as an organizer with the Friends of Gadsden Creek, we know this pattern all too well in our research, right? So in 2005, Charleston sold the land at a discount to the Charleston School of Law. So the city of Charleston sold land at a discount to the Charleston School of Law to build its campus. Instead, the school is trying to sell the land to a hotel developer. Now, I don't know what happened between 2005 and 2021. I don't know if they were sitting on the land to do just now, do what they're doing, because that's what people do here in Charleston. That's what countless commercial interests do here. They flip shit all the time. They flip apartments, mine included, just got flipped within the last 6-something months. And yeah, it doesn't really bode well for people like me. Ask me as I look up to the leak in the ceiling of a building that was constructed in 2017. So today's lawsuit, Today's lawsuit alleges the city breached contract with the school by delaying the sale. So let's just read what this is real quick. Popping in late. What's up, B-Man? Yo, B-Man, I murdered that jar of honey. Like, it's done. D is dead. I gotta re-up. All right, Charleston School of Law files lawsuit against city over $13 million. Shit, I didn't even see it. $13 million land sale hold up. They like, run me my money. And I don't know if anyone is familiar with the situation, if you're familiar with the school, if you understand why, let me know. I'm gonna read from this reporter now, right? Shout out to y'all saying good morning to your peeps. I love it. All right, a potential $13 million land sale between the Charleston School of Law and a hotel developer wanting to buy its property is being illegally held up by the city, a new lawsuit claims. The Charleston School of Law filed a breach of contract lawsuit on December 17th against the city of Charleston when Charleston sold land to the for-profit Charleston School of Law. It's a for-profit school? Charleston School of Law 16 years ago at a discount. The plan at the time was for the school to be built there, not to flip the property to a hotel developer. Is this a little bit wrestling? Is this a little WWE? Like saying like, cause the city love a fucking hotel. That's y'all shit. Is this one of those let me at 'em, hold me back? Is this one of those scrappy dude? Like, we just holding you, like, I don't, keep me honest in the chat and I'll read it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they've got a bit of history. Do they? Okay. So when Charleston sold the land at a discount, right? So it says the plan at the time was for it to be built there, not to flip the property to a hotel developer for huge profit. City officials contend. Like, y'all care. Shit, if y'all could put a Starbucks on every corner, y'all would. We wanted to keep the law school on the peninsula, Councilman Robert Mitchell said on December 17th. They didn't abide by the contract we had. All right, Mitchell, who has served on council throughout the dispute, said he awaits more guidance from the city's legal department, but still maintains his original concerns about the property. Taking time to evaluate its options, City Council delayed approving the $12,850,000 sale between the school and developers of the nine-story planned hotel planned on the property that's right, Meeting and Wolf. That whole area right there is already like, I legit like lost my, like, I got like some sort of vertigo, not vertigo like literally, but like driving, I'm like, wait, hold up, where am I at, right? All right, law school officials said there is no reason to continue to delay the sale, and it should be allowed to go through. The sale should be allowed to go through. The city agreed to this transaction years ago. Its failure to complete its portion of the deal is a textbook case of breach of contract, said J. Edward Bell III, president of Charleston School of Law, in a news release. I didn't know it was a for-profit school either. Did anybody go there from here? The city's original 2005 agreement said Charleston would get the property back if the school didn't use the site for law school purposes, and the permanent development or construction of to facilitate such usage within 6 years. Damn, it's 2021. When that didn't happen, the deal was later extended another 6 years. Oh, word? When that time expired in 2017, the law school claimed the deal didn't actually require it to build a school there. Oh, there is history. This sounds real fishy. That's when the city struck a deal to allow the property to be sold, with the school getting 75% of the profit, according to the news. The for-profit angle the going back and forth since 2005. This is real fishy. Let me look at the chat. All right. And what, Joni, you said for private school, what could go wrong? Joy, you said they're mad because they sold it cheap and the school was going to make the money. That's why they're mad. Yeah, they want to make the right. They want to be in the hotel business. That makes sense, right? Yeah, Mikey, you agree with me? Unrecognizable. Mm-hmm. Kia, you asked, is the Charleston School of Law case study? What is this nonsense? It's a lot. Buffy Monahan. Buffy Monahan. What is it? McMonagle the third Esquire. Oh God, you're so funny, Jessica. I love it. Yeah. 5 years. It look like since I got here in 2014, and I would say the last 5 years especially have been like gnarly in terms of the sweeping changes. So not directly related, but related is the business district plans and proposals. Again, let me refresh y'all memory. When we did engage on this topic, and I want to score some points here. I'm gonna be transparent with you. I'm gonna score some political points here. All right, the political points I'm about to score is just really basic though. Let me just let this rock for a second.
Department announced those. I don't see Mr. Morgan, so our director, Robert Summerfield, is going to take that. And the first item up is our business improvement district. We're very excited about, but we'll let.
So I want to stop it there. And I made this similar observation when I first aired this. This meeting is from December 7th, right? And so I made this observation, and then I'm gonna make it now. Look at the treatment that the mayor and the city, look at the way they allowed this business investment district and its many millionaire and millionaires interest and billionaire interests attached to it. It is a tool. I wouldn't even call it Trojan horse. Trojan horse implies that there's some secrecy. There is none. This is naked capitalism. Just no shame, shameless displacement. But look at the pomp and circumstances afforded to this effort versus what Amber Johnson, this is my personal take, versus what Amber Johnson was given. Homegirl wasn't given no podium. Homegirl wasn't given no table. Homegirl had to hold a physical I believe it was a physical copy of the Special Commission on race inclusion. Special Commission on, Equity, Inclusion, and Racial Conciliation. Homegirl had like a physical copy of her presentation in a clicker, managing her mask, trying to get through the presentation at the butt-ass end of the city council meeting, going up against the CRT, the CRT fanatics, the Proud Boys, the insurrectionists, the literal insurrectionists that were in the room, the literal Proud Boys that were in the room, people who threw up white power signs were in the room. So Amber had to go up against that. And look at this red carpet bullshit, concierge, curbside, convenient shit that these billionaires and millionaires are giving, but you won't even give your own staff the right time to present with limited interruption. You didn't bump it up to the beginning of the agenda. You buried her. And then all the fanatics about the mask and everything, they left. You can kind of say that was a positive, but then also a lot of people left because the meeting where Amber presented was extraordinarily long. We watched it here.
Let Robert tee it up, and then we'll welcome public comments afterwards.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mayor, members of council. So really quickly, I'm going to go through just a brief presentation about what the King Street bid is. And then I know we have members of the community that have signed up to speak. So very quickly, the King Street bid, this is magic, maybe? Okay, so this is not a new concept for the city and for King Street. In fact, this question has been raised since at least 1977, when it appeared in the 1977 revitalization plan for downtown. It was reiterated again in 1999 with the adoption of the downtown plan, further reiterated in 2011 and upheld again in 2016 with the adoption of the Century 5 plan and its update. More recently, though, this concept of a BID or a business improvement district for King Street really synergized during the ULI, which is the Urban Land Institute technical advisory panel report that they worked on in the spring of this year. And then finally, just recently, the comprehensive plan for the city of Charleston City Plan also espouses this idea of.
So we visited some of this before, right? And so I'm going to fast forward a little bit to so you can see some principles, people who are involved with this, right? And what I'm looking at right now is a comment that someone offered up, a local concerned citizen. I'm not going to give too much away because I honestly wanted to circle back to this person and just ran out of time, but I will probably by today's end send them a text. But I want to read some of the things they lifted up in the message reaching out to me. And I don't think this is, I ain't a lawyer. I'm more of a, let me stop. Now listen. All right, so I ain't a lawyer, but sometimes I want to treat things as privileged information, and because I don't want to ever betray your trust in me. I know sometimes I bring up personal experiences, and I don't ask for permission to talk about something I'm involved in. If you brought me in, I'm like Jim for the town. Don't bring me. If you didn't want me to talk about it, if you didn't want me to wreck shop with it, don't tag me in, kind of thing. You brought me, right? To quote Jim from the town, you brought me, right? If you don't want me out here killing political takes, don't bring me, right? So there's an element of that to it, but at the same time, I want to maintain a level of confidence as well. So I'm going to get into this, but I wanted you to see the principles here that are more. Can't call them figurehead because figurehead implies that they have no power, that they are just lofty names with lofty titles. But here you have the Charleston Downtown Business Alliance. And again, you started to see this really ramp up around the summer protests of 2020. And if you can, one thing y'all have to see as well is that they've been working very hard since 2020, before 2020, but that summer, been working very hard to move forward with a very specific agenda. So this is the Charleston Downtown Business Alliance, whatever. Board members include President Chris Price of Prime South Group, Vice President Lou Hammond of the Lou Hammond Group. Do your Googles. Secretary Rhett Otten from Krogan's Jewelry Box. We're gonna scattell it though. Until I found out something about Scattels. All right. Treasurer Helen Hill of Explore Charleston, but y'all know also better known as the Charleston Visitors Bureau, aka she's the figurehead or she is the face of the antebellum industrial complex. She's not the only face, but she is the face. So is Name the owner of a plantation, right? So that's who's here on this slide right here. Let me let it play a little bit. And they have other names right here. Ooh, people I know. Some names has appeared in this message. Okay. Let me read the names down here. Tim Stockdale, The Beach Company. Mike Schuler, 32 North. Marty Wall, Bennett Hospitality, of course. Mariana Hay, Krogan's. Kendra Stewart, Riley Institute. Okay, didn't Kendra used to teach at College of Charleston? Proper. I know the Riley Institute is probably a part of that. John Keener, the Crab House. Look at you. You're all the way over in James Island. All right. Michael Tall, Explore Charleston, CVB. Brian Turner, Preservation Society. There you go. Preservation Regime. Tommy Hall Management Group. You already know. Roy Neal, El Jefe. Brian Hellman Yates. And Meg Thompson, the City of Charleston. That's interesting, City of Charleston. Excuse me. Yeah, City of Charleston. Sorry. All right, let's go.
It's kind of a bellwether for the rest of our community. When things are good on King Street, hey, D. Our community is in good health and things are good. And so out of the last year and a half with COVID, with the riots that we had on King Street, it was kind of an urgency to come together and working with.
You see that? You heard that? Let me see. I didn't know he was going to. Let's rewind it just a skosh.
Is that champion, that voice, and more importantly, that inclusivity. So, we have government, we have the stakeholders, we have the representative for the area. In fact, actually, this King Street has 3 representatives.
Thank you, LQJ. This is what you said.
Council that touch it in different parts. But what about the folks who work on the street, live on the street, and own those properties on the street? How can they collectively come together and have a voice in how the street?
And so what you're hearing, especially with this last little tab right here, champion voice of inclusivity, you're hearing a lot of empty jargon. They just have to sprinkle that in so it won't feel as if this isn't a big power and money grab. They want you to feel good about shitty legislation, shitty business proposals.
Is managed and how that goes forward. So with that, the concept of the bid began to take more shape, but it really took shape when the community came together and created the Charleston Downtown Alliance.
I wanted to back it up a little bit.
So with that, I'm going to ask Mr. Doug Warner to come and just talk a little bit about the alliance, what its purpose is, and then what has it been doing leading up to this public hearing today?
Wouldn't it have been great to give? I'm not gonna let this go. Wouldn't it have been great to give Amber Johnson like this type of like time and placement on the agenda? Wouldn't it have been great? And intro, bios, PDF. This ain't nothing but 5 minutes on Canva. Just send me a picture. Boom, boom. I take out the background. Pop them in F3 and put some. Like, wouldn't it have been great to just do that for Amber? And it would have been great, too, to have a city council person, specific person, though Dudley Gregory and other people kind of spoke up. It would have been great to see that type of, like, someone at the mic queuing her up as well and setting the stage for her the way that the city and members of this alliance have made the way. I'm going to let this play for a little bit so we can hear the beginning of this problematic-ass commentary, and then I'm going to read this comment.
In preparation for bringing the bid forward to council.
Yep.
Thank you, Robert, Mayor, council members. I promise we're not going to have an auction tonight. So.
Oh yeah, remember that gross joke? Remember that gross joke? I know it's not about auction, but every time I hear auction in Charleston, I just cringe.
As Robert said,
no, I ain't gonna do it. I'll save it for later. I'll save it for later. It's not that important.
I think the business community, the owners and residents, feel strongly about King Street, as we all do. It's kind of a bellwether for the rest of our community. When things are good on King Street, our community is in good health.
That's not true.
Things are good.
That's not true.
And so out of the last year and a half with COVID, with the riots that we had on King Street, it was kind of an urgency to come together. And working with city staff, we established the Charleston Downtown Alliance, made up of property owners on King Street almost a year ago today. And over the last 6 months, especially the last 3, in constant communication with the city, we set out to put leather on the street and meet with and talk to property owners and business owners on the street. At your last Finance Committee meeting in North Charleston, we were hovering at 50%, 51% verbal approvals of the concept of a bid. And today we're over 55%. With about 61% of verbal. So we continue to go out and talk to property owners and business owners. Those numbers I just shared, 55 and 61%, are actually property owners.
Anyway, their little fugazi cherry pick stats about all that shit. And like, again, too, right? Like, the city shows urgency around shit they really care about, right? Urgency, oh, the riots, oh, my insured business had a broken window, right? Oh, like all of that, like, it's crazy what the city can get up for, right? What they can really get animated and get active behind. Let me read this comment from a concerned citizen. My experience with the business, I'm gonna call it the bid. My experience with the bid in the past makes me instinctively opposed. This person was catching up on the video, yada yada yada. Okay, let me see. Anyway, okay. They claim they've gotten majority support, and I haven't heard any public dissent except for 2 men who spoke at public comment. It seems like they're trying to slide it through during the holidays, of course. Possibly at tomorrow's meeting, right? And and we were going to vocalize the opposition. This person says that, right? Yeah. No, and I'm going to reach out to them and say they should. And we will be watching this. I know it's the holidays, y'all. I know y'all are making y'all dressing and all that other stuff y'all do, whatever you good God-fearing men and women out there do. Us single losers out here just chilling and boozy eggnogging it up. But no, I'm joking. But no. We're going to watch this tomorrow. And I invite you to join me if you want to. I'll be on. Come in, just drop in. Bring something. Potluck. Bring something. Bring a quiche. I love quiche. Shout out Kelly Ray. Yeah. So it's really interesting to see that the city is moving forward with this. I do want to try to get to the public comment period to see if the opposite, but I don't know how many opposing voices. I want to get to the Navarro dude that popped up there too. But let's read a little bit from their words and then we'll proceed with listening to a little bit more. I got my eye on the clock as well. So they are citing a chapter of the Code of Laws of South Carolina. All right, what is the King Street Business Improvement District? So pursuant to blah, 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 as amended from time to time. Okay, the subject, this is real, I don't like this jargon, hold up. Subject to receipt of all necessary, Let me go down to the second paragraph. The King Street Business Improvement District and the King Street Improvement Plan to be affected therein, the projected time schedule for the accomplishment of the improvement plan, the estimated cost of improvements, and the amount of such cost to be derived from assessments, bonds, or other legally available funds, setting forth the proposed basis and rates of assessments to be imposed within the improvement district. Interesting. And that didn't really clear shit up. But let me see if there's actual people. Let me see where I wanted to go to. Let's go here. Let's go here. So improvement plan. So $1 million a year, 10-year term, enhancement, clean. We talked about this, right? That whole street signage, enhanced street cleaning, maintenance, street beautification, ambassador program, and enhanced security. I don't know if you've ever driven down like South of Broad specifically. Communities are already like police. Like when I tell you, like it's not insane to imagine some sort of yuppie like or yuppie hired militia like security force. You'll see signs now. You'll see signs of there's some sort of like security faction or a local security group, and people have put signs up in their yards south of Broad, like near Colonial Lake and shit. And it's like, you know, this home is protected by under the monitoring or surveillance of. You're gonna get, when I see ambassador program, enhanced security, that to me is like, yo, hold up, ho, this you talking about cops? You talking about coming up with like your own kind of cops, your own arm of law enforcement? Like what security? Like they got uniforms on, they roll around in golf carts. Like what we doing? So we can't ignore this ambassador program and enhanced security. I don't know what that means. And why is ambassador program with enhanced security? All right, street and holiday programming, district advocacy and marketing promotion, of course, and district management. I dropped this in the chat earlier as we talked about on Friday. This is when a Black Chamber of Commerce would have been very handy. So this is why Charleston proper will always lift up the non-profit industrial complex as a solution to really complex problems that have been initiated since, the first slave ship docked at the Gadsden Wharf, right? And I'm being serious. Okay, can I let me switch up real quick. I'm going to be a curmudgeon again. Curmudgeon meek. So this is also one of the things, not I told you so, but I thought so. When I'm pressing younger organizers to have a more cohesive message, when I'm pressing and trying to offer myself up to be available to younger organizers and impress upon them the importance of having a really strong message and aim, right? Outside of mutual aid, outside of demonstrations following things like the passing of a problematic ordinance, right? It's important to have a comprehensive plan and to kind of figure out, well, we have to show up in other ways other than protest, right? Because of our foe now has always been a formidable force, but even more so now because they're about to subsidize a lot of these heinous practices, right? They're about to subsidize and legalize and make them policy. And they've already done that. They've already started doing that. This is where, so for those who are currently still organizing, like myself with Friends of Gadsden Creek, right? We have to have more tools in the arsenal. And this is why, the lifting up of philanthropy, CCF is not going to save us. Not only is CCF not going to save us, the Carolina, whatever, y'all know, Darren Goss and all them, they're not gonna save us. In fact, they're going to get in bed with this business interest, and they're going to undermine our needs and our interests. And so it's on the organizer, it's on the civic leadership here to speak truth to power, to outline these issues, and also organize these issues in a way where your ask is. So where I think we dropped the ball, and I'm gonna put myself in it, we really should have attached ourselves to the commission. I mean, me and Marcus are both on it in various capacities. I was like the secretary for my History and Culture Commission, chaired by Felice Knight and co-chaired by Angela Mack of the Gibbs, right? So I participated in it. I was in it. I was doing my thing. I missed maybe one or two meetings. I was involved, but we really could have organized around it too. And we could have really, I think the economic component that Alvin, and this is a plug of the podcast, that Alvin talked about, like that economic focus that Alvin was trying to kind of refine and to get some help with, that economic focus is actually the way through some of this mess that we're in. Because I'm saying all this to say, they don't respect protests. They don't respect public comment. They don't respect. I've been organizing with Friends of Gadsden Creek. They don't respect when we get hundreds of people to turn up and submit comment in favor of FOGC. They don't care. They've shown you that they will literally turn the spigot of democracy on and off whenever they will, i.e., closing down public comment, only restricting it to 30 seconds, making it very, very quick, right? They will open and close that spigot of democracy whenever they want. They don't care about public comment. They don't care that more people turned up at a DHEC hearing and say, no, we don't want you to fill the creek, the Gadsden Creek. They don't care. What they care about is if you got votes, if you've got control over a key voting block or a couple of districts, or they care about commerce. And so when you don't apply any type of economic pressure, or you don't even have that economic power so much, then we're in this situation where the buckra is going to do what the buckra's always been doing, which is to increase the footprint of problematic businesses that serve to displace black folk or keep them entangled in some sort of unsavory employment practices. And I'm speaking very broadly right now. I hear myself as I'm saying it, but you get what I'm saying. Like the only real inclusion that these businesses and these institutions really honor is the inclusion of, okay, we'll hire some black people to do the jobs we don't really want to do ourselves, or we'll hire some brown people to do the jobs we don't want to do ourselves. Low-paying job, low-wage jobs, with shitty benefits, and then that's the type of inclusion you can look forward to, but not much else. Maybe a couple of key hires of black people who are just, whatever. And maybe in hospitality, there'll be some key hires, some key color. And actually I saw they tried it out, old dude again from the, let me switch it back up. They tried it out, old dude again. The black face willing to do the bidding. I just don't know why this man is signing up to be tokenized like this, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but there's some big money here. There's some opposition. I think that dude opposes everything. We watched that part. Here we go. So when it comes to black, I'm gonna center black people real quick. When it comes to really fighting this, unless there's real substantial black power, right? Black economic power, black political power, this is just going to go through. And so the call, the message that I read from a concerned citizen came from somebody who I believe is I don't know if they're white, but white passing to me. And for this person to send me this impassioned email, to me underscores what we've all been saying for those on the forefront of social justice and racial justice. We've been saying this for a minute, that all the things that we're railing against will not save white folk. None of this is sustainable. Capitalism is not sustainable, right? These economic disparities that exist across racial lines or across class lines, they're not sustainable. And so those who think that, okay, I can't beat them, join them, I'm just gonna team up with Helen Hill and all this Qatari oil money and all the other stuff. Like I'm a team up with them, and then the behind the scenes, the Navarros and the Zuckers as well. You know they involved in this at some point. And what is it? B Moke is going to pop up if I hit play again. We're seeing, if people thinking they can join the clique, now they clicked up right tight. They think you're not going to be able to you think you're going to be able to keep hanging with them. It's going to come to a point where Krogan's ain't even big enough to sit at this table. It's going to come a point where, name the business that was listed underneath there. They're not going to be big enough to sit at this table. It's just the chasm is going to get bigger and bigger and wider and wider. And this is what white people don't understand. When we're calling for racial justice, it helps us all, because we know white supremacy is not sustainable. And so what happens when it starts to kind of like, when we see this late stage philanthrocapitalism, this late stage capitalism here, very tourism driven, hospitality driven capitalism, we're going to see its very collapse. And what does that collapse look like? Collapse looks like an ass load of hotels on the peninsula and no residents and no El Jefe. El Jefe ain't no way in hell El Jefe is going to be able to survive what they've actually enacted. There's no way in hell. Your money ain't long enough, fam. And I know the dude got cash, right? It ain't long enough. So this is very interesting that they're participating in their own demise. They don't even know it. Especially Miss Krogan's here with this scarf. But here they go trotting out some tokenism, some chocolate chip. No disrespect. Yes, some disrespect, because homeboy I'm gonna speak for myself. I've been very disappointed.
Mr. Mayor and Council. My name is Arthur Lawrence, and I live at...
So they tried out Arthur Lawrence as he's one of the big opposing voices of the Friends of Gadsden Creek movement. Definitely has name recognition, definitely name rings bells, but as of late, he's sided with the oppressor in ways that leave me scratching my head. But this is the voice they tried out often, and this is how they tokenize us, and they offer us things. And I don't know if they've offered him anything, but I'm just gonna speak on what I do know. They offer us things, and they offer us more readily proximity. And some of us just like to be chose. Look at Joni dropping names. Ooh, same thing, Joni.
Now listen.
Joni.
Now listen.
At 210 Fishman Street, long time resident. I like the idea.
Let's see what he said.
But we must understand, we can't create another board.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'm surprised.
The city council can't overrule. And
now that's real. So I will say that I'll take that L. Like I assume he was just gonna be all for it. Now I will say this: he don't lead politically like the way he should do. Don't tell me you like it. If you try to negotiate against it, don't start off with I like it, but it's not a brainstorm for an album cover, right? That's not what this is. Don't come out there and say you like it. Like, it's okay to be opposed to it and then figure out common ground later. So can I say that? Can we do that? Can we do more of that? People out here, like people, hello, can you hear me? Kamala, Simone Sanders, hello, can you hear me? Can we not start with, hey, I like it? No. I'm concerned. I have reservations. I don't know. This doesn't look right to me. It's okay to lead with that. And you can work out the whole reconciliation shit, compromise shit later on. You don't have to lead with, I'm sorry, but, because you already, now we already know that you moldable, that you foldable, that you know what I mean?
Mayor can't over. So we got to be very careful the way how you give away your authority.
It's already been gave. It's already been gave.
And make sure that we have transparency in the whole product. Now.
So, but also I will say that I know he was allowed to speak because too, like, he ain't gonna say nothing he ain't gonna go too hard on him.
I know it starts from Lion Street on downtown. But the tipping point is from Lion Street up to Romilly Street is being left out. We have businesses creating on this area.
It's so weird to hear him say this because you with West Edge, bruh. You a big proponent of West Edge. And you want to talk about carve-outs. You want to talk about starved communities and school districts. Look at Burke. Burke is near where? Wagner Terrace. Why is Burke in the condition it's in if Wagner Terrace and all that wealth, all that Wagner Terrace wealth is right there? Why do you have a pool top, a rooftop pool, a condominium, a building, like a luxury condominium with a rooftop pool right next to Burke, but Burke schools are struggling? Shout out to the new follow, right? It's just interesting. Like, so I'm not trying to like just continue to attack this dude. I'm not, but I'm just letting you know that you saying this, bruh, out the same reservations you have for this bid should be the same reservation you have for West Edge. But West Edge is very, very, very slick, and West Edge played the long game. And when they were Horizon, and then they remixed it, you know, they went from Dr. Pepper to Dr. Thunder, and you know. They've been working on these people for a long time, but he's a big proponent. What is this? Who is this? Okay. Oh no, that's not cool. Let me see what this is about. It's not cool. That's not cool and distracted me. But yeah, anyway, they work a long time I get how West Edge just moved. Let me keep going.
But the citizen that live right behind King Street is suffering because the businesses tracking all these people onto King Street, and they need a place to park. And the only place for those resident people to park is in the neighborhood. And
I think too, I'm going to fast forward because I think in the opposition that I've heard him lift up, and this guy's going to, I guess, rebut it. Like you have to already concede when you look at this bid and you take a closer look at it. You've got to admit to yourself that there is no plan for real residency, not long-term residency. There is no plan outside of more storage facilities, more parking garages, multi-level parking garages. There is no plan, like the parking is going to be for garages, for building. Like there is no plan for residency. So that even that too, again, not coming at him, just saying like the plan ain't comprehensive because it really doesn't take into account long-term residency on the peninsula. I don't know. I know same facade. I cut him off, but it's just.
My name's Gary Flynn. Sorry, I'm CEO of M. Dumas and Sons.
Didn't he just talk earlier? Or no, was it somebody else?
On King Street, I'm 3004 Ashburton Way in Mount Pleasant, 29466 myself.
Damn, put all your
so that we can work.
Oh no, okay, I'm sorry. I mean to confuse white folk. That's the other guy. Okay, I just had to see. So let's go back. Where'd it go? Yeah. We're gonna go back and forth a little bit. All right. Let's see what he has to say.
My name's Gary Flynn. Sorry, I'm CEO of M. Dumas and Sons on King Street. I'm 300.
I don't know why they kept bringing in like Chick-fil-A Chief Reynolds keeps coming in and out of this feed. I don't know why.
04 Ashburton Way in Mount Pleasant, 294-66, myself. I've been fortunate enough to be a part of the King Street corridor now for just about 6 years, and COVID was quite an experience for all of us.
Here, John.
The one thing it taught me was we're stronger together than we are apart. And I've gotten to know a lot more of the business owners over the last year and a half on King Street than I ever had prior to that.
Hold up, I'm gonna rate the room. Chief Reynolds got a nice little, is that tray ceilings? Got a nice little situation there. Chief?
And we came together and banded together with a small group called Mickey that about 9 business owners around our store got together to try to make a difference for our businesses and for our customers. And we have seen great traction there. And I think this is on a much, much bigger scale and have a much bigger impact. And I think we see a lot of foot traffic on King Street, obviously, and M. Dumas and Sons is fortunate to get a good chunk of that foot traffic through our store. And it is the lifeblood of Charleston, in my opinion. It is what makes us go.
No.
And if there's any alteration in the way our customers perceive King Street, they've got other choices. Greenville's going, Memphis is going, Austin is going. We need to continue to keep Charleston special, unique, and wonderful.
Hold up. Why are you just using these empty words? Charleston is a basic bitch. All those hotels, none of those hotels have any individual character or no character that speaks to classic architecture here, right? The shit is fucking really, really basic with Starbucks and blow bars. It sound bad, but you know what I'm talking, blow dry bars, right? Right? Like it's really basic. It's very generic. Target's about to be there on Lower King because we know we need a Target. It's Anytown USA with some seafood. and a murmuring about, slavery would happen here, but don't worry about that. It's so when they say this, I'm glad that he disclosed that there was a secret white meeting inside the secret white meeting inside the secret white meeting. I'm glad that he kind of opened up that Russian doll of how people been kind of getting together and trying to get back control. But some things he's saying are just empty. But I'm glad he also is lifting up, and I'm not making him a villain. I'm just poking holes in what he's saying. But he often lifted up what makes Charleston special, and his business is the lifeblood. Your business is not the lifeblood. But he's saying things that just aren't in line with the reality. And I'm gonna say this, and I think it's pretty. I think we saw it we're seeing it during the pandemic. We saw it during the earlier stage of the pandemic. Charleston's tourism will not die. It's a zombie. You can double tap it. It's not gonna die. I didn't see too much of a cessation outside of the lull that many tourism destinations experienced. But Charleston didn't close down, and tourism is a booming. And all through the summer, and even now, you can still see some tourists. But during the summer, those carriages were full. Them horses was exhausted. Busloads of people from all around the world were riding through here. Kelly Tours wasn't, you had the U.S. Open. This. Y'all kept it going. McMaster, Nikki Haley behind the scenes, the aviation board, all the mayors, Haney, Summy, Tecklenburg, all of them kept it going. Nothing stopped. The oil money came in from Qatar. Nothing stopped. And so this whole the protests of 2020 made us create this juggernaut of a governing body is weird. It's weird. Literally, you went back out on King Street the next day and you couldn't even find evidence. Oh my God. You couldn't even find evidence of sorry, I keep going moving around. You couldn't even find really evidence of the protests. They bossing said it, right? Secret Russian meetings, Russian doll. Yeah, secret white meetings. I got you. Yeah, it's just the Target is going where the Forever 21 is now, where the Saks Fifth Avenue was. Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, this computer keeps slipping off this thing. I had to get another thing. Platform. All right, sorry if my face kept going like this. I don't even realize my computer is moving. All right, I sound like my mom.
Wonderful.
Oh, Lord, I didn't know the phone was on. Oh, Lord.
And we will continue to thrive and our taxes will continue to drive Charleston. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And that's so when I talk about Black Power being in the dollar, this is what they have and we don't. And this is something that I have not had this conversation with Dudley, but you can tell him where he moves and how he's maneuvering around his district. And so you can make a similar argument for Waring. They saw the demographics shifting a long time ago and decided to start aligning themselves with certain business interests, commercial interests, and political interests that would help them maintain political power for as long as they stay on city council. And so this is where there wasn't really that it would have been great to see. It would have been great to see Dudley spend much of his time on council, even though he did run for mayor and all that other stuff. It would have been great to see Dudley spend a lot more of his time on council, talk about the building of Black power and trying to keep Black political power in terms of representation on city council. It would have been, not to say he needs to own that completely, but there hasn't been that emphasis to build back that power. And what does it look like what does it look like to have to find a more liberal leaning Black voice on Daniel Island? There gotta be one or two out there. Gotta be somebody out there. We got money too, or someone, or someone else. Like, there has to be some sort of building of power in some other way that's just not across racial lines, but where we get our needs met and our concerns are heard. And we just don't have that. We just don't have it. I'm trying to get to that B-Muck dude. I think I fast forward past him. I think this is him. It might not be him. Let me see. Not him, but the next guy.
World-class city like Charleston, we need to elevate the experience. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
I think this is...
Good evening, Casey Lavin, 87 Succession, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. I am here on behalf of BMOC Capital, BMOC Hospitality. We just acquired the Charleston Place. I presume...
So that's Ben Navarro.
We're on the more impacted side of this.
Hey, Al, you back? Do it every time. When you leave, you gotta tell me so that can be the way your door closes. Your theater of the mind door closes when you leave. Remember when you used to leave chat rooms and it sounded like a door was closing, opening and closing?
World-class city like Charleston, we need to elevate the experience. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Casey Lavin, 87 Succession, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. I am here on behalf of BMOC Capital, BMOC Hospitality. We just acquired the Charleston Place.
Yeah, Kia.
I presume we're on the more impacted side of this. Yeah, we're one of the 6, over 25,000. Got it.
This is how it be when, like, at y'all cocktail parties. I've been at a couple. I've been at some hoity-toity stuff. Interesting.
Look, the hotel was purchased as a long-term family investment.
If you believe that, I got a bridge in Mount Pleasant to sell you.
Investment back.
That don't even make sense. Do it. No, I can sell it. I can sell the Cooper River Bridge. It works like Brooklyn Bridge. I can do it. I can do that. Okay. It ain't no long-term family. Oh, over under. When they gonna flip that? Over under. When do you think Navarro and them gonna flip that Charleston Place? Over under 5 years or 10 years? Tell me. Like, I would love to know, like, what y'all think. In less than 10 years or over 10 years?
Community that aims to provide jobs, that aims to provide resurrection where it's needed on King Street, Meeting Street, Market Street, in areas that we can impact. And we could not be more proud to support this.
Okay.
I think it's well timed. We do have a significant reinvestment and renovation over the next many years that aims.
Reinvestment. You hear that, right? We have a reinvestment. Sound like flippage to me. Less than 10? Ooh, less than 10. I like y'all. I think so. Less than 10. Yeah. So Navarro's behind it. So that's Navarro. Okay, let me say this. And I never talked about this here. It's from fucking day one, Secession has been my joint. I should if I could play that copyrighted material and watch it with y'all, I would. But I don't want to get strikes. Yo, Succession's been my joint. Why do I like Succession? Because much like a good comedy like Veep, right? Succession kind of gets you a look at how shit is really done. And how like highfalutin scions of business really now while it's a dramatization, but y'all know truth is stranger than fiction. It's a dramatization. It's the Logan Roy character is a composite of name it Rupert Murdoch meets Trump meets maybe the Murdaws. Like it's an amalgam of a number of different like wealthy, perhaps international scions of industry, right? But what I like about Succession that maybe y'all like it too, like Logan Roy is known to not just say fuck off, but he's known the whole show. Hear me say, oh, wait, let me see. Hold on a second. Keep your eye on fly. Okay, you love Succession too. Okay, good. Yeah, Succession from day one, season 1, right? And literally, I was so busy lately that I got through it this weekend. Don't worry, I got through it this weekend. I didn't care about the spoilers because I kind of could see what was going on, but especially with Shiv. Oh my God. How many, I ain't gonna have that conversation. I'll save it for the book club. Shiv's character and how so many women really love Shiv's character. And from day one, you could tell how problematic it was, but a lot of women love Shiv's character. I'm like, how you all of them are horrible. Y'all know that, right? They all anti-heroes, right? But anyway, the one thing I like about Succession is that they use a lot of terminology and jargon that of course that I'm not privy to every day, but some of it that I have been exposed to, especially when I worked in up in the Northeast, right? Especially when I worked in politics and in and around politics, behind the scenes, there was a lot of profanity, right? But when like what you saw with Succession was there are certain people from massive businesses that they float out to do a thing. Right, Jerry is supposed to do this. Shiv being the woman in charge at the top is supposed to do that. Jim is supposed to there are all these things you learn. You see how businesses operate and how they kind of float out figureheads to either champion legislation or to lobby on the behalf of the bigger Logan Roy character. And so I said all of that to say, a lot of what you see here, especially with this dude right here, and granted he has a highfalutin position, but he is basically a surrogate for Ben Navarro, right? They don't get their hands there. That's why you see Anita Zucker come out. She kind of like floats the ideal of her being more accessible. But Navarro's more so on his terms, on his turf. I'ma buy the tennis tournament. I'ma buy the school. I'm gonna make sure I get on that TEDx stage. Like he likes to create stages and atmospheres that are very, very, very polite to him. But they're going to send out henchmen to do the bidding and to also to signal to other interests. Oh yeah, I'm not only on board. I'm gonna be behind the scenes pushing this forward even faster, right? So when you think about that acquisition of Charleston Place, and then you think about this, they're all related, right? This is related. When you think about the Charleston School of Law transaction, not directly related, but related in a lot of ways, right? And so you have to just keep an eye out. Like so when you watch Succession again and you see all these the CFO, the this one or that, all the different ancillary characters, look at the role that they play and what they were designed to do, or what were they not designed, what were they positioned to do, or what kind of outcomes are they trying to at least give voice to. And you'll see a lot of surrogates. I said all that to say you'll see a lot of business surrogates. And even you would even argue that Helen Hill is the biggest business surrogate of them all because she represents many interests, not just Explore Charleston. She's actually Explore Charleston is comprised of many, many, many more political interests. And like my secret one of my OG secret squirrels met with me at the coffee shop over there on James Island in the Harris Teeter complex. What's that local coffee place? That's right across from was Wells Fargo. But anyway, I met way back, over a year ago. One of the secret squirrels came with me with a handful of emails, and they pointed out this woman is a political figurehead. She's a surrogate for larger interests. So one thing I hope to do going into 2020, is to kind of start showing you, well, who's tied to Helen Hill? The way that I'm trying to vivisect the career, the legacy that is the Anita Zuckers and the Navarros, well, we got to keep doing that with Helen Hill, the CVB, and all of the interests that are there. We got to do that with this. Even got to keep going with Navarro because he's relentless, as is Zucker. We're just gonna keep showing you how power flows and who's really behind the scenes, right? So, you can watch the CEO if you want, but it's really the henchmen are really kind of out there doing the work, if that makes sense. Looks like a Ken doll. Y'all silly. Muddy Waters. Yes, I met at Muddy Waters. Look at D doing work from New England. Yeah. I think I'm
to just bring that area of King Street up further. And so from our behalf, we couldn't be more proud to endorse a unified voice of property owners, business owners coming together in a way that enhances the experience and allows this world-class city to be recognized as it should. Thank you.
And there's like no self-awareness when it comes to like the lack of diversity in terms of the voice who are advocating for this. So let me revisit this December 9th article from Emma about the bid. It says changes could be coming to Charleston's iconic King Street. Again, we've already visited this before. We're going to revisit it now. Just read a couple of leading paragraphs. All right, just before, hold on, let me make it larger. Oof. You could tell what I be shopping for. Look at that serum. Hell yeah. Shout out to the person who told me I look 10 years younger than what I am. Shout out to you this weekend. You the real MVP. Thank you. I don't have any pores or lines. Thank you. All right. Just before lighting a cluster of new Christmas trees towering in the middle. Damn, Emma wrote this? Sound like JBH. Just before lighting a cluster of new Christmas trees towering in the middle of Marion Square, Charleston Mayor John Tecklenburg briefly introduced the crowd of onlookers to a concept which could soon bring some changes to the core of the city's downtown. Called a business improvement district, the initiative would generate additional property tax revenue. By all means, don't tax the hotels or the investment groups. All right, property tax revenue to add and enhance services for King Street, downtown's main commercial corridor. A nonprofit. And that wasn't because it's a nonprofit, right? Not all nonprofits are evil, but you see how they use the foundation complex. Shout out Ella Baker. See how they use foundations. This is how Horizon got its start, y'all. This is how West Edge got its start as Horizon, right? Create a nonprofit, right? A nonprofit. I am, and I need you to help me with my trademark paperwork, Allie. Okay. Oh, you actually, for real, I am like legit going to create skincare, like legit. I'm saying it publicly so y'all can hold me accountable in the next 5 years. All right, called a business improvement district. The initiative would generate additional property tax revenue and add and enhance services for King Street, downtown's main commercial corridor. A nonprofit, the Charleston Downtown Alliance is behind the effort. Okay, the district could get King Street to an even better place than it is already, Tecklenburg said to a crowd on this. So he announced this publicly in December 2nd. Remember that big old to-do Christmas tree and whatever? Right. The new trees were lit moments later, the tallest one standing 59 feet tall, plus new holiday lights and baskets lining King Street are owed in part to the Alliance, which first started convening in mid-2020. And there and are a glimpse. Okay, so more trees, beautiful, beautiful trees, right? Oh, here we go. Look at this. Here we go. Earlier this year, the Alliance came to the region's tourism marketing group. Say it again. Earlier this year, the Alliance came to the CVB. Charleston, it says Explore Charleston, with an idea of finding funding to decorate downtown with elevated holiday lights, Doug Werner of Explore Charleston said, which Explore Charleston, the CVB, did. Through a partnership with who? Condé Nast coming in, Southern Living Magazine. So they put out some propaganda already. So y'all see also how this works, right? They didn't just float this out at the meeting that we're watching on the 7th. The mayor was going to cue it up softly with a festive background. He did that at the Christmas tree lighting, right? Then they had already colluded. I'm gonna use that word because I want to be spicy. They colluded already among each other. Secret white meetings. They ran at CBB. They knew CBB holds the cash. CBB holds the cash, and they funnel the cash. They funnel the cash. I repeat, they funnel the cash. I repeat, they funnel the cash. So they went to CVB, they worked this out, and this is what Helen Hill, if she don't do nothing, she'll place a fucking ad, right? She'll get you some primetime ad placement, right? In the form of advertorials that look like an advertisement, but is it an advertisement? Is it an advertisement or is it content, feel good content? Is it both, right? That's what she specializes in, that ambiguity where it looks like earned media and it's not earned media, it's bought, and it's bought at a high price, right? So they're framing this around beautification and more signage, but we know this actually is going to lead to the upheaval and the displacement of smaller businesses. This is why I'm going to be a little spicy against my friends. I'm going to be a little spicy. I love y'all, though. I love you. I love all you. I love you, Lorman. I love you, Jordan. Let me see who else is there. I love you, CT. I love you. Like cooked food. But it would have been great to hear from them. It would be great and I know that they move a little different, right? And I'm gonna admit to y'all, I've been hands off the criticism because I do have profound respect of the people who work there, and I know where their heart is, and I know what they studied, I know where they've lived, I know how they advocate behind the scenes. And not only that, I've had a relationship with them. I've been a customer, I guess you could say. I've been on the business directory, all of that, right? A member. But this is where you would want a local the nonprofit that's all about local commerce to kind of be a little bit ahead of this and advocate in a way to help. Like it would have been great if a Low Country Local First would have sent out information. Maybe they have, I don't know. Sent out information about this bid and about even if they wanted to play it safe, pros and cons. Just inform the public. This is what I want Low Country Local First to start doing. If you care about local businesses, and I understand their funding sources are probably all up and through some of the biggest people biggest people we've called out here, right? So I'm not asking for divestment. I'm not. Maybe I should. I'm not asking for divestment from that. I'm asking for you to arm citizens with this information to help them be able to weigh in. Much like how I try to do that with the news coverage. Like, I want people who know way more about this and the implications to weigh in. And if you just do what League of Women Voters does. Keep it simple. Keep it straight to the point. Pros and cons. Hey, y'all, they convene on the 22nd. Come show up, so you can engage better. But it would have been great for these local, like the more like blue collar, ham and egger, supposedly, the more down to earth, relatable, accessible nonprofits that are supposed to lift up businesses. And I'm just going to use their description and speak for itself. Low Country Local First is a 501c3 nonprofit cultivating an economy anchored in local ownership, because local independent businesses are the cornerstone of our culture, economy, and character. So if those are your values, those are your professed values, it's time for us to see the walking of those professed values. Let me see. You have been beautifully illustrated. How I have beautifully illustrated, El Kujay, how systems work here in a nutshell. And keep me honest if I get shit wrong. So the group has been meeting for years, right? For a year and a half. Yep. Yeah, but that's shady, but business as usual. Thank you for lifting that up. And I know there's a little bit of a lag, but thank you for lifting that up. Yeah. So it's just time. Like, if these are your professed values, I'd love to see it manifest in ways where, like, just tell people what's good, because there's no way what's being proposed before City Council in this video. There's no way that this is going to bode well for. I'm just going to, like, name your regular mom and pop shop, right? Name your favorite restaurant that's local, that's real local, not fake local. Not like, Carolina. What's that place that was above the Panera on the corner. I don't even know if it's still there. Carolina Brewery or some shit. Ain't it based out of a whole other, not even the Carolinas? Like real local business, right? Like your Zao Bao biscuits, like your Sight C, like your Tiny Tassel, right? Go on and on and on. Those are just people I fuck with. But yeah. So I would love to see these professed values actually look like an information campaign. You don't have to take no sides publicly. You don't gotta take no sides publicly. There's a way to play in this. There's a way to do this. So if they're talking about beautification, holiday programs, we know what that is. That's just the fluffy shit, right? So, but that security piece, that ambassador security piece, keep an eye on that, right? And go back. I don't have time because I'm about to bounce. I'm hungry. My stomach is literally growling. Fluffy shit. Go back and check out this. Use your library card if you're stuck behind a paywall. Use your library card to access this piece from Emily Williams and Emma Whalen. Emily Williams routinely writes for the business section, and Emma's been also in there too doing her part. So I got them confused. I ain't gonna lie. I really thought it was just Emma. It was both Emily and Emma. All right, so check out this piece. Changes could be coming to get brought up. And tomorrow I'm gonna be here. It looks like it's going to be one of them husky ass days of live streaming. So I'm going to engage some people off screen and then show up. And then if we have to watch City Council together, we're going to watch City Council together right before the holidays, just in time. So I'm going to leave it there. Go check out this article. Read up on this on your spare time if you have spare time. Let me remind you that if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. I know Little Mama said that my newsletters is still going to spam. I don't know why her inbox is so hostile toward my content, but if you save my email address, it should, in your contacts, it should pop up in your inbox. You can head to the link tree at Instagram. I know I need to make it more accessible here, but you can sign up for the newsletter. In my link tree, you'll see the tabs. Please sign up. Please make sure you support Holy City Tattooing Collective. They the homies. They really bless your girl. Seriously, really bless your girl. Seriously. Shout out to Mackenzie and Elliot. Shout out, happy belated birthday to Elliot of Headspace Murals. And Mackenzie, this is still on. Less than a week, y'all. I'm halfway there. So we're gonna go right up into Kwanzaa, all up and through Kwanzaa. We're gonna keep trying to spread the word about this fundraiser. If you've already pulled your weight, I'm not asking you to buy more hoodies and t-shirts. I'm asking you to tell a friend to tell a friend. All right, so please share the newsletter with them. Share the Holy City Tattooing Collective's post with them if you want to enter in that giveaway. Sorry, Joy, giving you some competition. And yeah, so please sign up for that. Please keep supporting it. We're doing really good, y'all. I saw 3 orders come in since the newsletter went out this morning. And it's been really good over the weekend. Haven't really even bumped up the amplification, and folks have been supporting. Shout out to all the new patrons, the new Patreon patrons. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I think that's it. Yeah, a lot. We talked about a lot. Did I get everything? Sometimes I literally have to look at my thumbnail to make sure I did everything. Yep, talked about Biden, talked about Bulldogs, the bid, Build Back Better, and Boots the Monkey. See y'all tomorrow, 8 a.m. I do have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, don't I? I'll still be here at 8 a.m. Bye. Love y'all. Love y'all. Love y'all. I'll be lingering in the chat like I always do. Love y'all.